Hello and welcome to our second ever episode of Talking Dogs TV. Once again, we're here at Shelbourne Park based, where we'll be taking in 12 races, and of course down at Limerick we'll also have 12 races. The feature here at Shelbourne is the opening round of the very famous Shelbourne 600, won by some truly great greyhounds over the years, and at Limerick we have the second round of the Con Annie Kirby Memorial. We're going to get straight to the racing action, however. Let's join Rob for the opener here at Shelbourne Park. It is an A2 525.
And they're all in for our opening race of the night. A very warm welcome to Talking Dogs TV. Our opening A2, Hare running in 1, Fay Point Rio, 2 is Cos Ace, 3 is a non-runner, no reserve, 4 All About Nona, 5 is Gunboat Showman, and 6 is Paradise Mozart. And away to go to level enough. Break 2 showing good early. That's Cos Ace. On the outside is Gunboat Showman, and Cos Ace just about in front, but there's a little bit of traffic in behind, and that leaves All About Nona, the only female in the lineup, who kicks clear off the second bend, and she leads by 3 lengths from Gunboat Showman. It's a 5-length gap to Cos Ace, and then we've got Paradise Mozart. But at the moment, All About Nona is showing her rivals a clean pair of heels, and off the final bend, it's going to be first blood to Peter Cronin and first blood to the females. All About Nona wins the opener in really good fashion. Second was Gunboat Showman. Cos Ace might have finished third, and it might be a sign of things to come, because the winning time of our opening race is a very impressive 28.68.
Yes, indeed, a fine way to kick off proceedings here tonight at Shelbourne Park, and perhaps a sign of something we will be seeing later on. Of course, All About Nona is a daughter of Kinloch Bray and Enable, and it just so happens that her brother, All About Ted, will be running next week. Here we see from the second bend, 1 did take a fall, Fay Point Rio, but got up and galloped on strongly after them, so that one seemingly dusting itself down, and it's fine. But it's 4, All About Nona, who was left in front at the opening corner, and given its pedigree, it was never going to be picked up. Peter Cronin training this lady. She's very strong, she's a real prospect, and she's one to keep an eye on. 5, Gunboat Showman in second, and back in third was 2, Cos Ace, 28.68. The track in good nick, it seems. That was certainly the case here last night. Well, here at Shelbourne Park, as you can see, we'll be keeping you abreast of all the various action through the 2 stadiums, both here at Shelbourne Park and Limerick. And of course, you can view Barking Buzz via the player that you'll be watching the action here at Limerick and Shelbourne Park. Before we get back into the nitty-gritty,
Con Annie Kirby will commence shortly here at Limerick, and to whet the appetite, we have an opening A3525 for Grode Kelly of Broadford, his runner, owned and trained, Groovy Tommy. In the blue jacket for the Cooney family, Gary and Donald, represented by Border Electric. Ballyellen Josie is owned and trained by Cathy Scanlon in Ballingarry, County Limerick. We move on here to Rifles Flash for Terence Delaney and Michael Ryan. The orange jacket belongs to More Spirit for trainer Anne O'Donnell, Kilmallock. And 6, we have Black Boy Lucky in the stripes. It's Ger Kirby of Cappamore's runner.
Yeah, so the opening race here tonight at Limerick, it's an A3 525, and we picked out our 3 against the field, and the first we're going to take a look at is Trap 2, Border Electric. This one owned by the Cooney family. This fellow has some fine form back in the day. Of course, his best form, I'm afraid, did come back in 2019, but out of luck in recent starts, encountering traffic problems. If he does get loose in the early yards, he's certainly bred for the job, being a son of Skywalker Puma and one of the great race bitches of recent times, born a gem. Interesting to see how this fellow goes. Next up, we're going to take a look at Trap 5, More Spirit, and this one owned by Anne O'Donnell, son of Mal Brandy at Bellwalk. 1 win from 18 starts, has been finding traffic in recent times, but does have a 28.87 on its card here at Limerick. The best Limerick form on offer, and certainly one to consider. And out in Trap 6 is the next we're going to take a look at. Black Boy Lucky, owned by Jeremiah Kirby, this son of Confident Rankin. He's the lightly race runner, one of the lightly race runners in the lineup. He's got 2 wins from 5 starts, and if producing perhaps an improved display, he could certainly play a part. Joe, it's an intriguing way to kick off proceeding. It's an open looking contest. What's your opinion?
Yes, thank you, Ian, and welcome to Limerick Greyhound Stadium, where the sun is absolutely splitting the rocks. I just took a walk around their track side. The track is looking in immaculate condition. As I said, the sun is shining here. There's a great credit due to the track involved, the team involved at Limerick Track, and having the place looking in such great condition. And an intriguing A3 contest to kick off proceedings here. Trap 1, Groovy Tommy, of course, for the Kelly family of Broadford. They're a real family affair, well bred, of course, out of Zari class. That litter is going quite well so far. One of them actually won a sweepstake a number of weeks ago around Limerick for Davy Nolan and was sold for good money to Amanda Gill of the Antigua line. So with the breeding and the trap draw that one has tonight, should be thereabouts. Border Electric, of course, for the Cooney family, was off the track for a year, but should be in the mix. Donald Cooney, the trainer, knows Limerick so well, and he's a brilliant trainer, local to the track as well. Should be in the mix too. Of course, Ballyellen Josie, Trap 3 for the Scanlon family. They're a wonderful Greyhound and GA family. And of course, one of the Scanlons is also involved in the PRO role of Limerick GA, and of course has been doing such stellar work promoting this year's Con Annie Kirby Memorial. A real family affair, as said, for the Scanlons. And they had a runner in Tralee last night, so they're all over the country with their dogs this weekend. Should be there or thereabouts as well. Didn't show much sparkle last time, but should be there or thereabouts. Rifles Flash, of course, Trap 4, that Tralee Raider, if it can produce the Tralee form in Limerick Greyhound Stadium tonight, should be in the mix. That bit of ease in class as well should help. More spirit, of course, for Anne O'Donnell, one of the more experienced in the lineup. 18 starts, 1 win, probably not one of the more likely winners of this contest. And Black Boy Lucky for Jeremiah Kirby. Of course, Jeremiah is local to this track. 5 starts, 2 wins, and a very nice run the last time in 29.25, and a winner in the race before that in 29.44. It's a very open, intriguing contest, this A3 525, and we're going to pop over to Mel for the commentary of our first race in Limerick.
In traps for the opener, Groovy Tommy, Border Electric, Ballyellen Josie, Rifles Flash, More Spirit, Black Boy Lucky. Run underway in the glorious sunshine at Limerick. Border Electric leads early on into the opening turn. Groovy Tommy's in pursuit, in between Ballyellen Josie making ground. The favourite Rifles Flash is way down the field as they motor now towards the penultimate bend in the opener. Up front, Border Electric by 3 to 4 lengths on Ballyellen Josie. Trap 5, More Spirit is in third. Hitting the final bend at Limerick, it's 2 in front. Border Electric putting in a fine performance to score. 3, Ballyellen Josie is second, More Spirit is third. The winning time is 28.61 for the Cooney family. Nice start.
Well, this race was certainly over from the early yards. Border Electric, we had suggested its best form is in 2019. Well, scrap that. Its best form is in 2021. Electric from boxes, as in its name, led by 2 or 3 lengths in the opening corner. 1, Groovy Tommy, easing slightly and checking up and causing traffic in behind. 3, Ballyellen Josie gave chase in second spot for the Scanlons, but it was all about 2, Border Electric, and this well-bred daughter of Skywalker Puma and Born a Gem, claiming a 5th career success from 21 career starts. 28.61. I dare say the track is running well. That's not to disparage the winner, but in an A3 contest you're doing 28.61. What will the superstars be doing later on? A cracking race. Plenty to look back on there, Joe. Very impressive by Border Electric.
Yes, Ian, as I said to you already, the track is in immaculate condition. Look at the run, an A3 contest in 28.61. Now, last week it was a bit cold, it was a bit wet, and the good runners in the Kirby were doing about 28.61. If the opening heat tonight at Limerick Greyhound Stadium can be won, an A3 in 28.61, let's start getting excited about what's going to happen tonight. That's an absolutely fantastic run. As we said last week, Ian, an ounce of breeding is worth a ton of feeding. And as you said yourself, some of us have a bit of both of that. Born a Gem, the dam of this dog. Well, what a bitch she was, of course. Ran in the Oaks final a number of times. She was a brilliant, brilliant bitch and has gone on to breed some fantastic greyhounds. Even later on, Adam and Jim has bred a daughter of Born a Gem, has 2 progenies that run in the Con Kirby later on on the Limerick card. But what a performance. Really splashed out. 16.25 to the third bend, an immaculate run. Some of the Kirby dogs weren't even doing that. And 4.16 to the opening corner, which is a very, very good run. And I have to be very, very impressed. Ballyellen Josie, of course, for the Scanlons, ran with great credit in second place. And More Spirit for Anne O'Donnell in Kilmallock in 5 came third, but it was all about Trap 2 Border Electric for the Cooney family from Clare.
Yeah, thanks very much. And Joe, I'm starting to believe that the Limerick Lothario is absolutely obsessed with breeding and feeding. Well, fair play to him. What else would you be doing at his age? Anyway, we'll move on to the second race here at Shelbourne Park. It is an A1525. The Talking Dogs TV A1525, no less, and a good little contest to look forward to. They'll be going on parade in just a moment or two. We'll hand over to Rob then. And just looking at this contest, interesting affair, very open. Snowbird is an interesting runner, 6 races, 2 starts, but he's had very little racing in recent years. Clearly a dog with a lot of promise in his early days, but has that 28.56 in his card in Newbridge back in December of 2019. If you can repeat anything like that for him, a big player. Over to Rob for the parade.
Yeah, thanks, Ian. And Greyhounds are parading for our second race of the night, this Talking Dogs TV A1525. First on parade is Cabral Luna for Paddy Scally in Tipperary, a 3-time winner from 14 starts. She comes here after running in the champion bitch in Thurles, and you'd have thought on that basis she's got a big chance. 2 is OO Valar for the Mainly Millionaire Syndicate. By Droopy's Roddick out of that brilliant bitch, Beaming Olive. She's a 3-time winner. He's a 3-time winner from 11 starts. He's got a big chance, and he's number 2. In 3, we've got Botswana Gold for Una O'Sullivan, and trained by Jerry Melia. A good winner here on his most recent start. He's won 4 from his 9 starts. His dad was Greenwell Hook, also trained by Jerry, and he's another for to keep an eye on. 4 is Snowbird, mentioned by Ian, for Plunkett Matthews, trained by Brendan Matthews, a 2-time winner from 6 starts. Has a couple of really good sprints, which suggests that he could be the most likely leader early on. 5 is the second of the females in the lineup. That's Ballymac Mary Jo for Nora O'Connell, trained by Neil O'Connell, a 3-time winner from 9 starts. Was a winner here at Shelbourne Park on her second last run. And in 6, we got the only middle seed. It's the Graham Holland trained Boxes for the Hovex Racing Syndicate, a 1-time winner from 3 starts. That win came when he posted 28.82 here at Shelbourne. He could be the unexposed dog in this second race, and judging by what we saw in our opening race, whatever wins this will have to post a pretty fast clock. So it's our second race of the night. It's the Talking Dogs TV A1525, Ian, and they'll be going to trap shortly.
Yeah, they certainly will be going to trap shortly. But before we do, we're just going to give you a mention, a reminder that barkingbuzz.ie is working all evening. There will be guarantees later on here at Shelbourne Park at the Shelbourne Open 600. There's also a guaranteed pool in both the jackpot and the pick 6. The pick 4 jackpot is over races 4, 5, 6 and 7 tonight, guaranteed to €300, while the pick 6 jackpot is over races 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. Make sure to get involved if you so wish. And again, that's all available in the in-player, along where you saw the cards as you were coming in. Well, there's also a link there to barkingbuzz.ie, so if you have an account, get it fired up. Meanwhile, let's take a look at the runners for this second race, the first of which is, we're going to take a look at Trap 1 Cabral Luna. The reason I put this one in, because, well, it has some decent form in Thurles. It is making its Shelbourne Park debut, but Paddy Scally came up last week and had a most impressive winner in the form of Cabral Blitz. She's running a little bit later on, perhaps one of the bets of the night, but Cabral Luna has plenty of promise. September 18 has a little bit of age behind it, as 14 races, 3 victories. If it did produce its best Thurles form, could play a part in proceedings. Next, we're going to take a look at the aforementioned Snowbird, 28.56 at Newbridge in its second career start. 18.68 trial here at Shelbourne last summer for the sprint, and has recently come back with an 18.89 sprint trial here at Shelbourne Park. Clearly can run a bit. If they haven't retired this fellow at this point, they obviously think there's still plenty of ability there. And the last we're going to take a look at before we go back to Rob for this contest is Boxes. Graham Holland trains this fellow for the Hovex Racing Syndicate. He's lightly raced. He's only had the 3 starts. Won his second in 28.82. Clearly going the right way. Has a little bit of early speed, and as the only seeded runner, a middle seed out in Trap 6, he could get a clear run. One to keep an eye on. Rob, an interesting contest to continue our action here tonight at Shelbourne Park, the Talking Dogs TV A1525. I'll side with Snowbird, take a chance that he is perhaps the force that he was at one point in his career, with Boxes and Cabral Luna my choices for second and third. Over to you, Rob. What's your own fancy?
Yeah, thanks, Ian. I think you've nailed it. I think the most interesting are Snowbird and Boxes, and if either of them can hit the lids, I think we could be set for a really good run. So if you're doing the forecast tonight, 4 and 6 reversed, and maybe throw one in with the trio. Right, they're all in for our second race of the night, the Talking Dogs TV A1525. And the hare's running. In 1 is Cabral Luna, 2 is OO Valar, 3 Botswana Gold, in 4 is Snowbird, 5 is Ballymac Mary Jo, and in 6, the only middle seed, Boxes. And away to go Snowbird, slowly into stride. One is well away, that's Cabral Luna up the inside, and Boxes after a slow start is trying to make a little bit of move, but around the opening bend, and how it's changed. We got Snowbird from last is now the new leader. Snowbird leads by a length and a half from Cabral Luna. They've kicked on from Boxes, who's about to move into third, and then Botswana Gold. But Snowbird, a remarkable run so far, leads. Cabral Luna, though's not letting him out of his sights, and Boxes is staying on from the back. Off the final bend, it's Snowbird and Cabral Luna and Snowbird, but Snowbird is somehow going to win after a very untidy start, has managed to do it the hard way. In the end, Cabral Luna came at him, but it's Snowbird who's made it 3 wins from 7 starts, and despite that slow start, he's posted a winning time of 28.74.
Absolutely. Well, we did tip up Snowbird to beat Boxes and Cabral Luna. Unfortunately, we weren't quite right. It was Snowbird that beat Cabral Luna, and, well, it was never really in doubt. As you can see, Snowbird just minding his step here behind, slips to the inside, once drifts off, and all of a sudden the gap opens up for Snowbird, and a slightly fortuitous run, shall we say, leads into the back straight one. Cabral Luna does stick with him in second spot, but Snowbird, a strapping 79-pounder, a dog obviously that's had plenty of ability, but very rarely on the track, but a good winner for Brendan Matthews, who of course has 2 victories in the Kirby to his name with the likes of Cable Bay and Boyle Sports Hero, so perhaps a sign of things to come for him later on the evening. But Snowbird, a good winner of the second race, if not slightly fortuitous, worth keeping an eye on Cabral Luna in second spot. As you can see, into the contest, Cabral Luna was in perfect pitch, so too was 3 Botswana Gold, but at the bend 2 runs off, and that causes a bit of a domino effect. 3 is balked, forces his way out. 6 Boxes doesn't get the run around the opening 2 bends. He's back and forth, but out front, and Snowbird is going on by a couple of lengths to in second. Trap 1 Cabral Luna, back in third is 6 Boxes, and I think that was the way they were to finish. So 4-1-6. We went 4-6-1. Can't get better than that. Anyway, the runners for the next race here at Shelbourne Park will be going on parade shortly. We'll go to or Limerick, should I say, will be going on parade very shortly indeed. Let's join Mal. This, of course, the Talking Dogs TV sprint.
Red in this, the second, is Paradise. John Rainsford for his Any Sport Will Do syndicate, represented by Stone Park Ned. In the white jacket, we have Nuke Sally, trained by Timmy Redfern of Maru, County Limerick. Maureen Miller is owned and trained locally by Dermot Walsh. Skipping out the road, we have Michael Murphy of Bruff and his runner Corcus Hope. And our sixth in this, the Talking Dogs TV 350, it's Foot Inspector for PJ Conway and Ger Carmody.
Yes, the runners for the second race at Limerick. It's an S5, S6, 350. And here, well, the first eye catch we're going to take a look at is Stone Park Ned. He has no sprint race form to speak of, but if you just look up the top right-hand corner there, you see the breeding. Ballymac, Best, Adam and Gem, member of a litter, which, well, it seems each and every one of them can absolutely fly to the corner. He's stepping back in trip, and if he did trap on level terms, well, just don't be surprised if this fellow took off into the opening bend in this low-grade sprint. Moving on, the second one we're going to take a look at is Nuke Sally. Nuke Sally not beaten all that far in a sprint last time out. She does have a 1921 and a 1923 victory on his card over on her card over this distance. This daughter of Lawhill Blake, clearly one to consider. And the last one that we're going to take a look at is in trap 6, Foot Inspector. And Foot Inspector, a daughter of Foot Solution and Tuscan flavour, and another one with some useful sprint form here, winning her last start over trip 1936 for Ger Carmody and Pat Conway. It's a sprint contest, as we've said. It's an interesting affair. They're not high class at present, but there are 1 or 2 youngsters here, and I'd expect something like Stone Park Ned perhaps to step forward and get involved in this contest for John Rainsford. As you can see, Barking Buzz is working away. We mentioned Shelbourne Park. Well, we're also going to mention that Limerick later on will have a guaranteed trio in each of the 8 heats of the second round of the Con and Annie Kirby Memorial. But also, there should be plenty of people tuning in at present and getting involved in Barking Buzz, so there should be a bit of liquidity there, so why not get involved? Joe, an interesting sprint to look forward to. My own choice, Stone Park Ned. How about yourself?
You're seeing an Of course, as we know, your selections are never too far away from the frame, but I must say I'm still blown away by that run in the first race, 28.61. And we just had a chat with Donald Cooney off air, and he was saying that dog was just after coming back, just had one sprint a few weeks ago, and to do that kind of run, 28.61, just shows you the track is on fire. So I am very, very excited about what's going to happen later on in the Kirby heats. Trap 1 in this race is Paradox, of course, and as you say about breeding a dog by out of the bitch called Ironically, who bred Rocky Bay Foley. Now Rocky Bay Foley was a 2-time Laurels winner down in Cork for Kieran Lynch. So as you say, an ounce of breeding is worth a ton of feeding. And on that note, Ian, I must ask you, is there any music or singing breeding there in your line? Because after your performance on RGB TV singing during the week was absolutely fantastic, and I've just saved down on my phone as Frank Sinatra. Trap 2, Stone Park Ned, as you say, for John Rainsford, who has the runner course in the Kirby later on, Adam and Best. This litter have a lot of early pace, first time out in the sprint, but do not be surprised if Stone Park Ned is there or thereabouts. Trap 3, Nuke Sally, the bitch that runs for TJ Redfern. Of course, TJ, a proud patron of the Limerick track. He's a legend of the game down here and a real local character. We always have great crack. 2 sprints, 1, 19.21, 19.23. This dog has done 4.95 to the bend around Limerick for a sprint, which would be quite fast for a sprint really, and should be good enough to possibly lead here. Trap 4 is an unraced runner, of course, Maureen Miller, 2.5 years of age, suggests that may have had its few niggles along the way, that it only got to the track at 2.5, but quite an unknown quantity, so could really be anything. Carcass Hope, Trap 5 of course has a good few place runs, and Trap 6, Foot Inspector for Ger Carmody. This fella has gone to the bend in 4.93 as well, so probably a toss up between 6 and 3 to be leading up. It's a very interesting sprint, as you say. Not the best action we're ever going to see in Limerick, but interesting all the same. And of course we're getting ever closer to the Con Annie Kirby heats, which is taking place in just 10 or 20 minutes. Over to you, Mel.
Yeah, we're going to go Mal in just a moment, of course. A great night's racing to look forward to. A great action to start off with in this sprint, 350 yards. Let's join Mal now for this contest. Again, my choice, Stone Park Ned.
In traps from the inside, it's Paradox, Stone Park Ned, Nuke Sally, Maureen Miller, Corcus Hope, Foot Inspector. We're weighing the Talking Dogs 350, 1 Paradox, the early pace setter from 3 Nuke Sally, 6 Foot Inspector, well in the frame. The favourite is Trap 2 in 4th at this point, which is Stone Park Ned. We're coming off the second bend, heading through the 350 line, 1 and 3, 1 on the inside, getting the better of 3. Paradox from Nuke Sally. The time is 19.29. Garrett Barry looks to have trained the winner of our second race, the Talking Dogs 350.
Yeah, Joe gave this one a good mention, Paradox, and it was clear from the early hours that this one meant a bit of business, showing immediate acceleration from the inside. Got that length and a half on Trap 3, Nuke Sally, Trap 2, Stone Park Ned. Missed the kick. He showed a bit of foot into the corner. He'll need to brush up his starting, but out front, and Paradox continues to lead into the home straight. Trap 3, Nuke Sally looked like she was going to challenge, but 1 Paradox raced right to the winning line, and as you see by the sprint at Limerick, it is the second winning line. We'll be seeing the second winning line in action here at Shelbourne Park a little bit later on over the 600-yard trip. But again, over to Joe. Paradox, a good winner. Beg your pardon, we're not going to Joe for this one. We're going to show this one, Paradox again, leading from the inside, just watching him behind. No look for the likes of 4 and 5, Maureen Miller and Corcus Hope, but Trap 1, Paradox, once getting to the front, never really looked in danger of getting picked up, although Trap 3, Nuke Sally, did run well in second spot. It was Paradox opening his account at the 4th time of asking. This is only a June 19 whelp, and a good one to look forward to for Gareth Barry. He'll win plenty more sprints judging on that display. Now we're going to take this opportunity to tell you a bit more about what's coming up tonight on Talking Dogs TV. The feature here at Shelbourne Park is the opening round of the Shelbourne 600. The truest test of a racing greyhound. I've been saying it ad nauseum for quite a number of years at this point. You need great early speed, pace down the back, and the stamina to, well, hold on as they race to that second winning line. It's been won by some truly amazing greyhounds over the years, including 3 Derby winners. Russian Gun went on to win the Guinness 600, having won the Derby, having won the Guinness 600 the previous year. College Causeway and Ballymacmath in recent times. Rob, it's a great competition. It's one that the punters really look forward to. Is there one in your fancies for later on in this testing 600-yard trip?
There's more than one Ian, of course. First run in 1964, and as you've mentioned, Tyre Ted, Late Show, College Causeway, Ballymac Matt. The winners just roll off the tongue. Of course, Paul Hennessy's won it 6 times. He's the most winning trainer in the competition. He's only got the one runner in the competition this year, and that's Priceless Jet, who, if he traps tonight in that second heat, he could post a very, very good run. He's an unexposed greyhound, 5 from 15, but I think outside the likes of Great Name Dat and the defending champion Ballymac Kingdom, and of course Billy's Diva, I thought Priceless Jet just might be a dog who puts himself on the mark tonight. But brilliant competition, as you said, and whatever wins it over the next 3 weeks will be a worthy champion, no doubt. But as you can probably see, Ian, they're coming on parade for our third race of the night. We're getting closer to the main events, but we've had 2 really good events so far here tonight at Shelbourne. And this, of course, is the start of the Pick 6 jackpot all the way until race 8. So it's the Best Car Parks A1525, and first on parade is Costa Plenty for Jerry Melia, a 12-time winner from 44 starts, and this son of Droopy's Roddick appears to have the ideal box in 1. In 2, we got Lord Boomerang for Tommy Woods, a 4-time winner from 24 starts. This son of Pinpoint has won a couple of times here at Shelbourne, and if he breaks, he's another for the shortlist. 3 is Paradise Asia, one of the 2 females in the lineup for Sean Mead. 3 times she's won from 14 starts. She's fairly consistent, and she's got a good run at Thurles to her name as well. 4 is Swanley Chick for John Edwards and Jamie McGee. The second of the females by Loghill Blake out of the brilliant Killanon Baby, who of course managed to win over 600 here at Shelbourne Park. So no stamina worries with Swanley Chick. She's in trap 4. And the last of our runners, because trap 6 is vacant, is trap 5. That's Our Viking Spirit for Janet Tierney and Mead. A 3-time winner from 24 starts. Very few times has this son of Rio Quattro been out of the frame, and with trap 6 and absentee, just might get a little bit of daylight early on. So there's our third race of the night. As we said, it's the start of the Pick 6 jackpot if you want to get involved. It's an A1525, and Greyhounds will be going to trap shortly.
Yeah, before we go to this next contest, I just have to pull up and something Robert said. Paul Hennessy, 1 runner. He's got 3 runners, Rob. Hello, Hammond, and of course Beach Avenue, the Easter Cup runner-up, is racing in the final heat. You must have got to the final heat. I know the Healy family will be watching at home, absolutely peeled, eyes peeled, watching their television, screaming on their own Beach Avenue. So we just have to say, Beach Avenue, a major player in this year's Shelbourne 600 for Paul Hennessy. Now, let's focus on this A1525 and our 3 eye catchers. The first we're going to take a look at is Trap 1, Costa Plenty. This is a former Dublin Cup winner, a real professional, won by the aptly named Costa Lot syndicate. Jerry Melia, the legend, training this fellow. Massive early speed, well drawn in the fence. If he hits the lids, it'll take a good one to lead him. On so to the next one we're going to take a look at is Swanley Chick. She's the class act in the contest, the daughter of Lawhill Blake and Killinan Baby, an Irish Oaks finalist in her time. She ran very well in last year's English Derby. She has massive pace from start to finish, very talented indeed. And we move on. Trap 6 is unfortunately a non-runner, so we just have the 2 eye catchers in this third race. But my choice would certainly be Swanley Chick. She was picked up in her latest start here at Shelbourne Park by Monbeg Zinzan over 550 yards. Nothing wrong with that, I can promise you. Monbeg Zinzan, a real powerhouse, and Swanley Chick perhaps looking like she needed the run. Looking through the remainder of them, Lord Boomerang, 4 wins from 24, always capable of a big run, has a massive run over 575 yards in his card, 31.10. He'll need to be at his very sharpest to contain Trap 1 Costa Plenty early. Paradise Asia is a strong runner. That one will be staying on at the finish. Will again, another one that probably does need a flying start. And Viking Spirit, our Viking Spirit for Janet Tiernan, of course, great regular here at Shelbourne Park. They've had some good dogs over the years, and this one racing from Trap 5. It's a 5-dog affair, Rob. It's an interesting contest, but I dare say if there was bookmakers on track, the Trap 4 Swanley Chick would be a red hot favourite, and I'm talking 3-1 on type territory.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it, Ian. Those 3 runs last October and November when she was doing 28.10 and 28.25, given the way the track's running, you'd have thought she'll take a bit of beating. The obvious threat early on is Jerry Melia's Costa Plenty. Whoever wins the early battle there might be the one to come out on top. But we were close to getting the forecast right in the previous race. We did get the trio, so maybe 1 and 4 reversed here might be the way to go. But they're pretty much all in for a third race of the night. As we said, it's the start of the Pick 6 jackpot. It's your last chance to get involved in that. And remember, if you're not in, you can't win. All in for a third race. And the heralding for a third race of the night, the best car parks A1525, and 1 Costa Plenty, 2 is Lord Boomerang, in 3 is Paradise Asia, 4 is Swanley Chick, and in 5 is Our Viking Spirit. And away they go, it's level enough. 1 is showing good early, that's Costa Plenty. 3 Paradise Asia is going up well, and then we've got Swanley Chick, but around the opening 2 bends, and it's Costa Plenty who leads Swanley Chick. So the big 2 are going to fight this out by the looks of it. Back in 3rd is Paradise Asia, who's not going away without a fight, and then we've got Our Viking Spirit, but Costa Plenty bidding to make most for Jerry Mealy. There goes Swanley Chick around the outside, is challenging all the time. They're locked together off the final bend. Costa Plenty on the inside, Swanley Chick on the outside, but Costa Plenty is really game and manages to hold off Swanley Chick in a cracker. It's tight for 3rd, but it was all about the break, it was all about the early pace. Costa Plenty had that, and he's done it in 28.70.
Yeah, absolutely. The early speed of Costa Plenty very evident in this contest, and it did prove decisive. He's flying up the inside, never seems to mick the kick. He really is a professional. Trap 3 in 2nd, Paradise Asia. But at this point, Swanley Chick stepped around Paradise Asia and quickened into the back straight to go 2nd. She looked a serious threat at this point. I dare say 6 months ago she'd have certainly picked up Trap 1, Costa Plenty, but perhaps she's getting there. I think she might just be in need of a run or two, because she did swing off the last bend, but she didn't find as much up the home straight as you would have hoped. Costa Plenty not the stoutest of stairs. Swanley Chick, she'll be winning again very soon indeed, but can't take it away from Costa Plenty. Got to the front, kept digging in front, and wins well for the Costalot Syndicate and Jerry Mealia. Once again, you can look at this race from start to finish of the remainder. Well, Trap 3, Paradise Asia, was prominent in the early yards. This lady who's won 3 from her 14 looked like she'd be a big player at this point, but sort of found herself a bit of, not so much the meat in the sandwich, but just they were gone by her before she knew what was happening, and she was 3rd down the back straight, came with a bit of a charge into the 3rd bend. Back behind them, 5 Our Viking Spirit and 2 Lord Boomerang, who never really got involved. Paradise Asia out of luck in that point there between the last 2 bends, had nowhere to go. 4 Swanley Chick though swinging wide, and that really was the winning of it for Costa Plenty, staying all the way to the line. Meanwhile, they're about to go to parade at Limerick, so we'll be joining Mal in just a moment or two. Just a reminder that the Con Annie Kirby Memorial is coming up a little bit later on. Our great sponsors, JP and Noreen McManus, and of course this competition named after Noreen's parents, who were very much a part of the furniture at the old Markets Field in Limerick. They absolutely, truly did love their Greyhound racing, and so too, it seems, do JP and Noreen. I hope they're watching on and enjoying some really quality action, but I promise you there is more to come a little bit later on. Of course, JP and Noreen also great lovers of GEA horse racing, and by all accounts that's why the Kirby was set up and initially started back in 2013. A brilliant winner in that first year, Roxon Bully. And the GA clubs have always been a part of the Kirby Memorial. This year, each and every Greyhound has been assigned to a GEA club. So as long as the dogs stay in, the GEA clubs stay in. €10,000 to the winning GEA club, €5,000 for second, and another 5,000 distributed between the remaining 4 finalists. Meanwhile, let's go back to Mal.
This
for
is
this
the bet on
contest.
the Barking Buzz app, A4525. From the kennels of the Roaches, James and Lucy, and for a certain chap by the name of Joe Sheahan, Slanon Yum Yum. Tom Fitzgerald from Clonlara runs number 2, Ocean Ringo. For the Murphy family of Beaufort, it's Callaway Butts, trap 3. Next up in the black, Knockdown Blake with Helen O'Brien of Kilrush and Pat Conlon. Michael Carmody of Croom trains trap 5, Honeypound Gold. And trap 6, Airfield June, trained by Dennis O'Malley for Bernadette Walsh. Those are the 6 runners for the third race.
Yes, indeed, this third race at Limerick. Well, there's one very notable runner. It's the first we're going to take a look at, Slanon Yum Yum. I'm not sure about the name and not sure about the owner. A certain Joe Sheahan, trained by the very shrewd James Roach, this daughter of Droopy's Buick and Slanon Misty. 1 win from 2 starts. I'm sure Joe is going to tell us that she's going to step forward and that offers of around 15,000-20,000 are more than welcome for Slanon Yum Yum. Trap 2, Ocean Ringo, is representing Tom Fitzgerald, who actually is the chairman of the advisory committee down at Limerick. We spoke to Tom on Talking Dogs, or on Monday, speaking about the Kirby before it started, and he was very excited. He never mentioned Ocean Ringo. He has a couple of decent lines of form in his card, picked up last time by a good winner in Glideaway Chimes. Perhaps a bit of early speed. Just don't be surprised if this fellow sets the pace in the early yards. And the third we're going to take a look at is out in trap 6, Airfield June, trained by Dennis O'Malley for Bernadette Walsh, a daughter of Lawhill Blake and Airfield Biddy, and this one winning well last time out in 29.44, given her age. Open to plenty of improvement, but we have to speak to the main man himself, one of the most powerful owners in Irish greyhound racing, Joe Sheahan. Tell us, Joe, will Slannon Yum Yum be winning?
I think this could be the race where it could happen. All jokes aside, look, she's running from trap 1 for myself. She's a lovely bitch in the kennel. She's an absolute smasher. She's a real genuine sort. She runs from trap 1. She's a kind of a bitch that really rails from the inside, and I think the draw should suit her. And as you said, Tom Fitz, who owns trap 2, Ocean Ringo, chairman at the advisory council, and of course I sit on that advisory council as well. So tensions have been very, very high between myself and Tom during the week. Me in 1 and him in trap 2, and they both have a bit of early, so it could be, the tussle could be a bit hard at the first bend. Callaway Blitz, of course, runs for trap 3. Dennis Murphy from Beaufort in Killarney, of course, always ones to note when the Callaway dogs run in Limerick. Knockdown Blake, of course, trap 4, not without his chances as well. Honeypound Gold from Michael Carmody. Now the Carmodys are very, very shrewd greyhound handlers, and you can be sure that trap 5 will be there or thereabouts. 1974 in its sprint last time, but take no notice of that. This dog will be absolutely primed. Airfield June, trap 6 for Bernadette Walsh of Askeet and Dennis O'Malley. And of course, Bernadette, or Bunny as we affectionately know her down here around Limerick, has had some wonderful dogs down the years and had some great success with Dennis O'Malley. This one an impressive winner in 29.44 last time out of a bitch called Airfield Biddy, and that dam line is particularly strong, so expect this one to be improving as well. It's a very hot contest, but yeah, I'm more nervous for this race than I am for any of the rest of the races or the rest of the night, but hopefully they all come home safe, and we're going to join Mal for the commentary.
Green flag raised. 1 Slannon Yum Yum, 2 Ocean Ringo, 3 Callaway Butts, 4 Knockdown Blake, 5 Honeypound Gold, 6 Airfield June. Away in racing near side 5 and 6 are smartest into their stride. Honeypound Gold, Airfield June to the second turn. 1 looking for a run on the inside. Slannon Yum Yum leads by half a length or so on 5 Honeypound Gold. Back on terms. 4 going well in between. Knockdown Blake. Good race here. Our third at Limerick. Up front 4 leads from 5, 1 and 6. Plenty in with chances here as we hit the final bend. Knockdown Blake in the black jacket emerges and goes on to win. 4-5. Knockdown Blake from Honeypound Gold. The winning time is 28.77 for Pat Conlon and Helen O'Brien. Good win.
Yeah, 28.77, a fine display there by the winner, Knockdown Blake. You'll see in the early hours that Joe's bitch Slannon Yum Yum certainly did like the fence. She railed like a cat on the outside. 5 Honeypound Gold and Airfield June going up well, but Slannon Yum Yum rails really tightly, goes to the front as they enter the back straight, and I'd say at this stage Joe was doing some hopping around, but just watch the pace of 4. And Knockdown Blake, this fellow having just his 7th career start, son of Lawhill Blake, charging into the third bend. It's just momentum halted slightly there with himself and 5 Honeypound Gold challenging around the third and fourth bends, but one straightening up again. Trap 4, Knockdown Blake. He has plenty of pace in the straights, no question about that. 5 Honeypound Gold in second, and Slannon Yum Yum running well for the main man, Joe Sheahan, in third. As we always say, there's no show like a Joe show, and we're going to go back to the main man at Limerick. Joe, the lady ran very well for you.
Thank you, Ian. Yeah, I'm very, very impressed with her run. You know, she's the kind of a lady that runs her heart out every time she runs, and I'm very, very impressed. Ran third, but she showed a bit of early dash and ran well to the bend. Of course, there's no, like the winner in 28.71, just passed them out and showed a real staying prowess coming home. 16.36 to the third bend and came home in a split of 12.35 or thereabouts, which would be quite an impressive split coming home, especially for an A4 contest. Trap 5 Honeypound Gold for the Carmodys running exceptionally exceptionally well as well. It looked very, very close coming around the second bend, but 4 really, really showed its prowess, knocked down Blake and ran on exceptionally well. And as I said, my own bitch, very, very happy with her efforts, and she's a lovely bitch, and hopefully there'll be more to come from her. And of course, all the runners of that A4 contest in Limerick.
Yeah, Joe, very magnanimous there in defeat. They all did run well, especially Trap 4, knocked down Blake. Meanwhile, here at Shelbourne Park, we're looking ahead to the 4th race in the card. And just a few seconds before we join Rob for the Barking Buzz app A1525. Over to you, Rob.
Yeah, thanks, Ian. Of course, this 4th race is the first leg of the Pick 4 jackpot here at Shelbourne Park. First on parade is Cost Boss for Paula Costa, 3-time winner from 13 starts for the son of Droopy's Sydney in the red jacket. 2 is Ballymacdeb for Siobhan Burke and Neely O'Connell, one of the leading fancies here. A really good early pace daughter of Vulturi, and she's won 6 from 32. In 3 minor, Droopy for Mary O'Connor, the second of the females in the lineup, and she's got a 50% strike rate, 3 from 6 so far, and has got another leading chance. In 4 is Angry Tornado for Liam Walsh in Waterford, bidding to give Peter Cronin a double here tonight. This one has won 1 from 3, a son of confident ranking and a leading hope in Trap 4. In 5 is Midas Ruby for Jerry Melia, who's also bidding for a double. A 3-time winner from 18 starts, this daughter of Droopy's Cane, and she's the first of the 2 wide seats. And in 6, we've got Front of Annie for Kevin Proctor, trained by Derby winning trainer Robert Gleeson. Of course, he's won the Con Annie Kirby in the past as well. A 2-time winner from 7 starts for this daughter of Sonic. And with the change of seating, she now wears the stripes in Trap 6 and is the second of her wide seats. So it's our 4th race, the Barking Buzz app A1525. And more importantly, it's the first leg of tonight's Pick 4 jackpot.
Yes, indeed. Well, the name of the race is the Barking Buzz app A1525. And don't forget that betting is available. The current favourite there is Trap 6. That's Front of Manny at 6-5. It's a seating change for this one. Not the best early, so she's going to have to do things the hard way from the outside. But just like, let's take a look at our eye catchers. The first we're going to take a look at is Trap 1, Cost Boss for Paula Cost. She had a runner earlier on who went up very fast indeed, and this one splits around Newbridge, suggests it can go up fast. It has a 28.73 in its card around Newbridge. And no luck in running last time here at Shelbourne Park, but from a better draw could play a part in proceedings. Next we're going to take a look at is Ballymacdeb. This lady never runs a bad race. She has some fine form here at Shelbourne Park and normally goes up well. 6 wins in its card for Neelis O'Connell, a man that has regular winners here at Shelbourne. And finally, we're going to take a look at the aforementioned Front of Manny, trained by Robert Gleeson, as Robert said. Derby winning handler Robert Gleeson, Kirby winning handler Robert Gleeson. He's not in Shelbourne Park. He's clearly down at Limerick with Droopy's Fittest, who was such a star in the opening round down at Limerick. But this Front of Manny has really caught the eye in recent starts. She's a daughter of Sonic and rural Aloha. That means she's very well bred. She's closely related to rural Hawaii, and of course 1 or 2 of this one's comrades are racing down at Limerick tonight, including Rural Star and others. But this Front of Manny, not blessed with early speed, but she has been absolutely hammering home in recent outings, and by all accounts it seems Robert Gleeson has a talented field of dogs in his kennel at present, a lot of them blessed with stamina. He could have a few stayers in his hands in the coming months, but this Front of Manny will be staying on stoutly. A seating change, I'm not sure how it will suit. Rob, it's an interesting contest. Front of Manny will be looking to arrive there late and fast. Cost Boss perhaps could go well. Of the remainder, Minor, Droopy, Angry Tornado and Midas Ruby all have claims. They all have 28.70s on their cards, so none you can really rule out in this wide open contest.
No, you're dead right, Ian. They've all got a good shout. And of course, we've mentioned the trio. There was a 5-dog affair in our previous race, and the trio paid over €140. So if you are getting involved in the trio, they've already been paid well. And I think if you get the trio in this 4th race, you'll do well. As you've said, the change of seating with Front of Manny might be the key, because she's not the best of starters, but she flies home. And if she can get a clear run around the opening 2 bends, like she's posted good runs of 28.83 and 28.84 when she's encountered traffic problems. So if she can get a clear run, you'd have thought she's got a big chance, and the change of seating could be the key there. I suppose Ballymacdeb in Trap 2 probably has to lead if she is going to win. And you've mentioned Cost Boss and even Midas Ruby for Jerry Mealy, who's bidding for a double. They've all got good chances, but I suppose if Front of Manny can come away okay and get a clear run around those opening 2 bends, it'll take a good one to stop her. But as we said, it's the first leg of the Pick 4 jackpot, and so far tonight the trios have been paying well.
Yes, indeed. Well, the runners will be going to traps for this 4th race very shortly indeed. And indeed, as we speak, they are going to boxes. And Front of Manny, as Rob said, will be doing its best work late. I can promise you they are gone to traps. Our cameraman obviously catching up in proceedings as we speak. And there you have it, right on cue.
They're all in.
Let's go over to Rob then for this interesting one. They're all in boxes, it seems. The last couple just been placed in. Again, Front of Manny, our selection. But just don't be surprised by any result in this contest. It really is wide open. Over to Rob.
They're running for our fourth race of the night, the first leg of the pick four jackpot. And 1 Cosboss, 2 Ballymacdeb. In 3 is Minor Droopy, 4 is Angry Tornado, 5 is Midas Ruby, and in 6 is Front Amani. And it's a level of break. Front of Manny's away well tonight, as is Midas Ruby, and on the inside is Cosbot. And Front of Manny, can she get around okay? Yes, she can, and she takes over at the second bend, and surely this is all over, bar the shouting, because Front of Manny leads by 4 lengths from Cosbot. There's a similar gap back to Ballymacdeb in third, and then we've got Midas Ruby, but at the third bend, and Front of Manny still has a commanding advantage over Cosbot, and once she hit the front off the second bend, it was only going to be a matter of how far, and she's absolutely bolted up. She's won by a long way from Cosbot in second. Ballymacdeb has finished third. We knew it was going to be a quick time if she broke, and it sure is, because she's done it in a brilliant 28:11.
Yeah, indeed. Track is certainly going well tonight, but we knew once Front of Manny was prominent in the early yards and avoided bad traffic problems while she could do a run. She's been showing eye-catching pace in recent starts, and it seems that Robert Gleeson is building up quite a team. Front of Manny clearing Midas Ruby in the opening corner. There was traffic for Minor Droopy and Angry Tornado in the early yards. They're out the back, never really got involved, and Cosboss did its best to stay with Front of Manny, but just watch her. She really gallops up that home straight. She's while she's doing 28:11, I can't see her winning the likes of an Oaks, but I could certainly see her winning over plenty further in future. And Robert Gleeson is really gathering a team of very talented bitches in particular at the moment, and yeah, just don't be surprised if he has a good team going for the likes of the Corn Cucullin. He had a good winner here last night in 750 yards in I Am's a Dream, and this lady Front of Manny is another one that could certainly step up in distance in the future. As you can see, she does have enough early speed to lie up with them in behind. You see 3 and 4 getting badly involved. They were never at the races, but it was trap 6 Front of Manny, and she's going to emerge a very easy winner. 16-14 to the third bend. That would win many's an open race, but as I said, she's not about early speed. It's from this point home you'll see her really tearing into the ground. She's really devouring the ground up the home straight, and she stretches on in the closing yards to win so impressively from Cosboss and Ballymacdeb. Your heart sort of goes to Cosboss in second spot. It's been beaten 7 or 8 lengths, but at the same time it's doing a 28.60 odd, and it's going to be greater than that. So hopefully she'll get her race sooner rather than later, but Front of Manny, simply different gravy to them in that fourth contest here at Shelbourne Park. Meanwhile, we're going to Limerick. Things are starting to get hot. The second round, the Con Annie Kirby Memorial upcoming. Let's join Mal. Let's get there nice and early for the parade.
Runners are with us now for the first heat in round 2. And this for the Buckleys of Pat and Emma. Bombardier is number 1 in the red jacket. Moving on to the blue, it's Epic News, owned and trained by Maria Kennedy of Thurles, County Tipperary. For his jovial Any Sport Will Do syndicate, John Rainsford trains number 3, Adamant Best. Peter Cronin, the trainer's having a good run of it here at Limerick. His runner here is Runo Bruno for Eden Comerford. Moving on to trap 5, Binal Medina Roxy is for Stephen Pennell. And runner-up to the exciting explosive boy last weekend, Tom O'Neill trains Clonard Bolt for Kevin O'Brien, Clonakilty, County Cork. Those are the runners that will get us underway in a moment here in Heat 1 in round 2 of the Kirby.
Yeah, indeed, so much to look forward to in the next 8 contests at Limerick, and we're going to focus on this opening heat for a moment or two. Some really contrasting styles of racing. We've got 3 or 4 early pacers and 2 or 3 early pacers, 3 or 4 big finishers. Bombardier is sort of, or Bombardier should I say, is one that sort of fills both gaps. He's a good starter, perhaps lacks a little yard of early, and down the back, but he absolutely finishes at speed. He's a dog that will stay further in time. Well housed on the fence, however, and certainly can play a part. The next we're going to take a look at is trap 4, Runo Bruno. This fellow, bit of an eye catcher in the opening round. He's not blessed with early speed. By this stage of his career, he's only had 3 career starts, but it just seems to suggest that he does lack it early, but he's certainly one that will stay further again. He'll absolutely hammer home like he did last week, but whether he can really threaten the judge, well, unless he improves his starting, that mightn't just happen in this sort of company. And we'll finish up with Clona Bolt, and this fellow is another one with massive power and pace from the second bend. I'm not sure he quite wants to be out in trap 6, but he has plenty of pace and massive stamina. He's a very, very fast greyhound. Again, betting on this one with Barking Buzz. You can see it there, that certainly the big 2 in the betting at Limerick in the Barking Buzz are traps 1 and 6, Bombardier and Clona Bolt. But just to mention the other 3 there, Epic News, a dog that can go up well, good early speed, probably well housed in between the likes of Bombardier, and on the right side of Adamant Best, who himself will go up fast in trap 3, and then 5, Bella Medina Roxy, a very talented lady, ran well in defeat last time. Let's go to Joe for this opening heat at the Con Annie Kirby Memorial. Lots to look forward to, Joe. What's your own choice?
Yes, Ian, thank you. And excitement is at very, very tense levels here at Limerick Ground Stadium for the opening heat. And Ian, you're touching a great point a while ago and remembering the legacy of Con Annie Kirby. Of course, they were wonderful greyhound people, proud patrons of the old Marketsfield track in Limerick Greyhound Stadium, which is the old stadium many years ago. And many of the patrons that I'm friendly with here around the track pay homage to their legacy and tell us how great they were with their dogs, and they were fantastic doggy people and lovely people, and it's important to remember their memory tonight. Bombardier, of course, was so impressive a number of weeks ago in its victory in 28-58. Runo Bruno kind of passed him out last week and made him look a small bit ordinary, but you can be sure Team Buckley will have this fella primed. Epic News, well, a 28-31 trial around Limerick suggests that he will have a lot to say about tonight's opening round for the proud Kennedy family. Adamant Best in trap 3. Well, the early splits this fella has been doing for John Rainsford suggests that this dog will lead up, and he stayed a bit better last week, and if he stays on this week, he should run in for a qualifying position for next week. Runo Bruno, as you said, strong galloping dog, should be in the mix as well. Ben and Medina Roxy, of course, and Clona Bolt for Kevin O'Brien, and Tom O'Neill, of course, brother of John Joe O'Neill, the horse trainer. It's all to play for here. Very, very tight encounter. Paul Cooney's gone for 6-2-3. I'm going for 6-2-5, but all to play for in the first round. Very open and exciting heat. Over to you, Mel.
From the inside, Bombardier, Epic News, Adamant Best, Runo Bruno, Benedina Roxy, Clona Bolt. 3 to qualify in the Kirby. Very level break up front. Bombardier is 1-5 is Roxy onto the second. There's a spot of trouble. 1 Bombardier leads by a length on Ben Medina Roxy. In third is trap 3 Adamant Best. It's 1 and 5. 3 to qualify now for the next round of the Con Annie Kirby. Trap 1 Bombardier leads for trainer Pat Buckley off that final turn, putting in a fine performance. 1, 5 and 2 qualify. Bombardier, Ben Medina Roxy and Epic News. The time here is 28:31.
Yes, well, we're not going to show you into the opening corner, but all you need to know is that Bombardier got a flying start from the inside, and once holding his pitch on the opening bend, well, he was never going to be beaten. At this point, Clona Bolt had hit the deck. I believe he's up and well. A 5 and second spot, Bella Medina Roxy giving chase, but Bombardier, as we suggested before the race, is a big finisher. He was never going to be picked up, and he really does roll home, winning in 28-31 off a 16-25 to the third bend. Bombardier, a good starter, as we said. He had enough early speed on this occasion to hold his pitch in the fence, and once doing so, he went on to land the spoils in very impressive fashion for Pat Buckley, who has of course won 3 of the last 4 Con Annie Kirby Memorials. In second spot was trap 5 Bella Medina Roxy, and third was 2 Epic News. A dramatic affair, but a good winner in the form of Bombardier. Joe, that was impressive.
Very impressive, Ian. And as I said before, Team Buckley were going to have this dog absolutely primed for the second round tonight. Just very noticeably, this dog did 16.25 to the third bend. His final time was 28.31. That means he came home in 12.06. Now, I've been racing in Limerick for a while, and it's a long time since I've seen a dog come home in that sort of 12.06. Extremely impressive, and it's definitely one to note how well that Bombardier is staying on. Got his trapping boots a bit more well in tuned tonight, and of course, as you said, kind of bolt out the back was a bit unlucky and ran into a bit of traffic, but I must confirm all dogs are up safe and well back to the pickup. Of course, Trap 5 running with great credit, Benamedina, Roxy, and of course Trap 2, epic news for the Kennedy family. Well, if this dog gets a run some night, it's sure to do an exhilarating run if given a chance. But Bombardier was very, very impressive, and I think we have one of the members of Team Buckley coming to join us now. Emma's on the way. Emma, you're very welcome. Great to see it, get a bit of room and do that kind of run tonight.
Yeah, look, he showed a nice dash of early. I think he's learning with that bit of experience, held his own down to the first, got a bit messy, but ran on well. And yeah, look, it's great to have him there next week. So,
because some might have doubted his early pace in previous rounds or the previous runs. Did you know that was in him?
We did. We just knew it was a case of getting it out of him. But as I said, he's learning with each run, and it was nice to see him show it there.
He came home in 12.06, so really staying on.
Yeah, that's definitely the breed coming through.
Emma, well done. Absolute credit to you. Well done.
Thank
We're
you.
looking forward to seeing you in action later on again. Well done, Emma. Thanks.
And the Greyhounds are now parading for our next race here at Shelbourne, the fifth race, the Rosnia Con Open 525. First on parade is Kishlawn Amelia for Gavin Nolan and Orla Nolan, a two-time winner from 16 starts and the daughter of Kinloch Bray. In two, we've got Paradise Mission for Sean Mead, a three-time winner from 13 starts, a hugely consistent son of Native Chimes, and if he can repeat his 28.65 run here on his most recent start, he's got a big shout. In three, Lodgefield Saga for Jennifer Traynor and David Traynor, the second of the females in the lineup, a daughter of Taylor Skye and Lodgefield. Chloe, a five-time winner from 9 starts, but is returning from a mid-season layoff. In four is No Wall Nick for Jerry Daly, a 6-time winner from 19 starts, a regular here at Shelbourne Park. Very seldom runs a bad race, has clocked times of 28.57 and 28.68, and another for the Notebook. 5 is Star Blake for the Amazing Force Syndicate, a 7-time winner from 14 starts, has been placed a further 5 times, and the son of Logel Blake has some sensational runs down in Thurles and some sensational splits as well. Another, however, returning from a layoff. And then 6, we've got Sizzler, a regular here at Shelbourne for Marion Maloney and Graham Holland, a 9-time winner from 18 starts. 9 wins, as we said, 6 further placings, the second of the wide seeds, and a good break for Sizzler tonight, and everything else might have to play catch up. So it's our fifth race, it's the Open 525, another really good lineup, and Greyhounds will be going to trap shortly.
Yes, indeed. Well, we're looking forward to this Open 525 contest here at Shelbourne Park. The first we're going to take a look at is Paradise Mission for Sean Mead. When the Mead family come to Shelbourne Park, you pay attention. This one has 3 wins from 13 starts. It was beaten 2 lengths by Agent Stanley last time. Of course, Agent Stanley is in action in the Kirby Memorial later on. Ran well on that occasion, has a 28.65 on its card round Clonmel and a 28.91 estimated at Galway. So some really talented form. And this one, if you go back in its breeding, I'm sure you'll find some real stars, the likes of the Paradise Divas of this world. Moving on to Trap 4, No All Nick, owned by Jerry Daly, a dog with good early speed, a son of Ballymackesky and Cat Girl. He's won 6 of his 19 starts as 28.57 and 28.68 here at Shelbourne Park, and ran well in defeat last time out. He will need to set the pace, but that's very possible. And out on the outside, well, we stuck in Sizzler. This fellow would prefer a longer run to the corner. That really has been the key to a success here at Shelbourne Park in recent times. He's stepping back in trip, but if he did happen to turn close, he's loads of pace down the far side. He stays further than this. He will turn wide. He will run wide in all his corners, but he can really run for Graham Holland and Marion Maloney, who's had such great success in recent years with the likes of Sonic and Knockglass Billy and of course Wolf, who won the Easter Cup in 2020. It's a cracking little contest to look forward to. The 3 I didn't mention, Kishlawn Amelia in 1 has a 28.44 here at Shelbourne. Lodgefield Saga returning after a layoff, 28.68, 28.60, and Star Blake, as Rob alluded to, great early speed around Thurles, is returning after a layoff, but his latest line of form would suggest it's in good nick. Remember, you can get your bets on Barking Buzz. The Greyhounds, though, for this fifth race, making the way towards traps. The Rossiach Conheran, open 5-2-5. Why not go to Rob? Rob, just give us your final thoughts of this fifth contest. It's an intriguing one. My own choice, I'll go with Sizzler, perhaps to avoid them on the outside, go round close, take charge down the back straight, and perhaps going on to win from the likes of Paradise Mission.
Yeah, Ian, it's hard to disagree with you. I suppose if he can come level a little bit like the previous race, if he can turn close, he's so much experience here around Shelbourne. It's going to count to his favour in this race. And as we said, with the likes of Lodgefield Saga and Star Blake returning from layoffs, if Sizzler can turn close, he's got a big chance. Star Blake, as we said, those runs down in Thurles are mind-blowing. The splits of 177 are probably as good as you're going to get. And that recent trial suggests that he might be ready to rock. But a good race. Sizzler, we've given the forecast in the last couple of races, so maybe 6 with 5 here might be the way to go. They're all in for our fifth race of the night, and the hare is running. In 1 is Kishlawn Amelia, 2 is Paradise Mission, in 3 Lodgefield Saga, 4 No All Nick, 5 is Star Blake, and 6 is Sizzler. And away to go. Sizzler's away well, as is 1 on the inside. That's Kishlawn Amelia. But around the opening 2 bends, can Sizzler get round? Just about, as does No All Nick. And No All Nick takes it up off the second bend. But Sizzler is well positioned. Then we've got Kishlawn Amelia and 2 Paradise Mission into the third bend. And this is where Sizzler says go. He cuts inside for No All Nick. No All Nick's not going down without a fight. And Sizzler has to check again off the final bend. No All Nick now is Kishlawn Amelia to deal with. Sizzler's back in third. And from the clouds, Kishlawn Amelia has somehow denied No All Nick, who looked as though he was going to make most. Sizzler, the brakes didn't come at the right time. It looks as though he's had to settle for third, but a really good fifth race, a really good finish, and the time is 28.74.
Happening in this contest, of course, the early speed came from No All Nick and Sizzler on the outside, and well, it looked like Sizzler was perfectly pitched, but he made the head-scratching manoeuvre of going up the inside of the third bend. And if you know this dog, all he wants is to be on the outside. But at this point, No All Nick has 2-3 lengths in hand over 6 Sizzler, who's showing good speed now at this point, but does switch inwards. In fairness, the 4-dog No All Nick is drifting out, but he comes back in on trap 6 Sizzler, who just doesn't want to be on the inside. He checks wide, and as all this happens, he clips the heel briefly of trap 4 No All Nick. And Kishlawn Amelia, who'd been third all the way along, came with a wet sail up the home straight and winning well. A Kilkenny victory for Gavin and Orla Nolan. Congratulations to them. Kishlawn Amelia running very well indeed, but perhaps Sizzler was the eye-catcher in the contest. He gave away his chance around the third and fourth bends when checking out wide. Again, so we're going to watch this. If Star Blake didn't show the early speed we were expecting from trap 5, he's out of the picture, but 6 here Sizzler looks like he's going to go around in front. He edged in himself inexplicably, takes a bump, and he finds himself 3 lengths behind at halfway. Once again, just watch him here, flying into that third bend, big back straight pace, but goes to the inside, and he just doesn't want to be in there, and he's simply waiting to check out again. Costs trap 4 probably half a length to length, but at that point Kishlawn Amelia is absolutely motoring up the outside of trap 4 No All Nick, and she goes on to win in fine style. Well, that's it. We've got 5 races out of the way here at Shelbourne Park. We're going to now move on to the action at Limerick. Heat 2 of the Con Annie Kirby Memorial. Another great race to look forward to. Mal will take us through the runners.
The first of the runners for the second heat, we have Luminous Light. This trained by Dennis Lennon. Number 1 is Luminous Light in the red. Next up, Agent Stanley. Marie Gilbert trains this one for Pat Flanagan and Erwin Bigmeyer, trap 2. In the white jacket, Culavane Lily, owned and trained by Noel Herr, the nominating club St. Patrick's, home of Garrod Hegarty, Hurler of the Year. The local runner Scalo Maris, owned and trained by Joe Brazel Kilmallock. Trained by Thomas O'Donovan, trap 5, 1 time only for John Woodford of Bahamas. And 6, Racket Hall Leo, a winner last time out, Lee McGrath Tipperary trains.
Yeah, a great race to look forward to. You know, realistic claims could be made for a number of these. The three we've chosen to focus our attention on, we'll start with Trap 3, Coulivanny Lily. She's the likely race runner in the lineup, or one of the likely race runners in the lineup, along with Luminous Light. This lady has 3 starts. She ran a massive race in defeat last week behind Fabulous Azura. She's clearly going the right way for Noel Hare, who has a good record in this competition going through the years, and she was staying on stoutly last week. She's facing a tricky draw, don't get me wrong. She has to go up really fast to lead the likes of Agent Stanley in Trap 2, and she's got Scala O'Mara rocketing to the bend from Trap 4. Next up in 5 is One Time Only. This fellow perhaps throwing away his chance of victory at the opening bend last week when drifting off and allowing Vallegro up his inside, but he can go up fast. He may be an inside seed, but Trap 5 is right up his street. Expect him to play a big part in proceedings, especially if hit the lids. And out in 6, Racket Hall Leo. One wonders, is his new owner Lee Calcutt watching on from the UK? This fellow has been purchased during the week. Lee McGrath still in control of this fellow, a son of Tar Big Mike and Lemonade Breeder. Very impressive last week, a big galloping stride on him. He's an 87 pounder, 28.45 last week, and he very much a leading fancy. Again, we're going to take a look at the barking buzz odds. As you can see there, the Trap 6 Racket Holio is the one they all want to know about. At 1 to 3 on the barking buzz, I dare say by the off that might have levelled off a little bit. My choice in this contest is Trap 5, One Time Only. I think if he hit the lids, it'd be very hard to contain. Scala O'Marla, however, will go up fast in 4. So too Trap 2, Agent Stanley. But again, keep an eye on Coulivanny Lily in Trap 3. I think she's really one for the future. But let's join Joe. Let's get his look at this second heat of the Con Annie Kirby Memorial.
Yes, Ian, as you say, a lot to look forward to here in this second heat. Racket Hall Leo, well, when I heard that he was sold during the week, I was praying and hoping that this fellow would be left in the Kirby and not brought across on the boat to England too swiftly, and thank God he has left him in this competition. What an amazing performance by him last week in 28.45. His coming home split was 12.21. If he can repeat a performance like that, I think he'll be very, very hard to beat. On his inside, One Time Only, of course, for trainer Thomas O'Donovan, who knows how to win a classic around Limerick, has that kick of early, and if can get into the frame early on, should have a big shout. Scala O'Mara for local owner trainer Joe Brazel, and of course I know this runner will mean an awful lot to him, being a man who was local to the track. He's a very, very shrewd handler, has a good touch of early, but perhaps not staying too strong. But if it can get out and avoid congestion, who knows, could be in the mix as well. Coulivanny Lily, of course, from Noel Hare, and of course we know his son Oisin is doing stellar work out in the kennels in Ennis. In his place was so impressive a number of weeks ago when won in Limerick in 28.74, and was impressive in qualifying last week as well. I expect her to be doing her best work late on. Agent Stanley for Des and Mary Gilbert. Well, this fella had a jam-packed March, didn't have much time for a trial in Limerick, and from my viewing on the card, last week was his first time around Limerick. Didn't show his early sparkle, but if it was his first time around the track, you can be sure that this fellow will be improving, and I think Agent Stanley has a massive chance tonight. And Trap 1, of course, Luminous Light for the Lennons of Kilkenny. Great to see this young greyhound trainer with a runner in the Con Kirby. 28.42 trial for this dog around Limerick. Personally, I think Agent Stanley and Racket Hall Leo, it's between the two of them for me. But Paul Cooney, our tipster, has gone with 6.32. I'm going with 6.35 for a trio. But it's all to play for here in the second heat. Over to you, Mal.
Green flag raised. Luminous Light, Agent Stanley, Coulivanny Lily, Scala O'Mara, One Time Only, Racket Hall Leo. Underway in the second heat, and 4 Scala O'Mara starts prominently from 2 Agent Stanley into the opening couple of turns. 5 going okay on the outside, One Time Only. At the front of the field, it's Trap 4 Scala O'Mara, now joined by Agent Stanley, who hits the front. 5 on the outside, prominent, One Time Only. 1 in the reckoning, Luminous Light. We're about to go to the concluding turn. Agent Stanley leads from 1 and 5, going towards the line. 2 possibly, Agent Stanley from Luminous Light. The winning time of our second heat, 28.56.
Yeah, plenty happening in this contest. This second he's of the Con Annie Kirby Memorial. Notice trap 6 Rocket Hall Leo missing the kick, and I'm afraid that was to see him exit the competition. 4 though, Scala O'Mara for the second week running, showing big early speed, but it did look like Agent Stanley in one time only were just too close. It was Agent Stanley. They got the lovely run up the inside. 5 one time only, trying to pass on the outside, does so, and perhaps looking a threat to Agent Stanley at this point, but Agent Stanley kept on going. Instead, it was Luminous Light that was to get closest in the final yard, staying on stoutly up the home straight as Agent Stanley drifted across. I'll give it to Agent Stanley from Luminous Light, but it looks like one time only did hold on in third spot, but trap 2 Agent Stanley and 1 Luminous Light in a photo finish. But as I've said, I'm going to give it to trap 2 Agent Stanley. I'd be fairly confident that if you gave me a bit of even money, I'd be taking it, because it looks like he's after winning for Mary Gilbert, Pat Flanagan and Erwin Burkmeyer. I wonder, does Joe have any inside information on what actually did get up?
Well, Ian, last week I took you on. I chose the wrong dog in the photo finish, and you know what? There's a good bit of crack and stuff about Twitter. And this week, I'm afraid I won't be taking you on. I do think as well Agent Stanley got up, of course, for Desi and Mary Gilbert. Very, very shrewd henders. And, of course, they came to the Ledger last year with Oran Don and got him to the final as well. They know how to produce a good one around Limerick track. It was a very, very good performance by Agent Stanley. And one ran on so well as well. As we said, Scala O'Mara has such great early pace, and the track experience stood to him. But maybe just not staying that little bit that you need for Limerick. Limerick is a tough track. It's a stiff track. And it just takes that bit of an extra oomph around the last third bend and home to really stay on. And of course, trap 5 one time only for Thomas O'Donovan, of course, actually won the Ledger last year with Epic Hero, ran with a fantastic credit in third. But tonight the result is just in 2-1-5. Agent Stanley, your winner, in 28.56. 16.17 was the split there to third bend, which is quite fast.
Yeah, thanks for that, Joe. So kind of confirmation there, Agent Stanley winning for Mary Gilbert, Pat Flanagan and Erwin Burkmeyer. Now, straight over here at Shelbourne Park for the next contest. We'll be reflecting on the Kirby Heats a little bit later on.
Thanks, Ian. And Greyhounds are parading for the Retired Greyhound Trust Open 525, or 6th race of the night. First on parade is trap 1 Austin Blue for Tom Bride in Kildare, trained by Jack Bride, a 6-time winner from 22 starts, including on his most recent effort at Newbridge, and that was in 28.68. In 2, we've got Cabra Blitz for Paddy Scalia, scintillating winner here 7 days ago, a reproduction of that 28.60, and she'll have plenty to shout about tonight. She's a daughter of Batsy Sabbath and Cabra Fifi. In 3, we've got Knock Mitten Boo, the second of the females for Orla Kelly, trained by Orla herself, a daughter of Taylor Sky and Lodgefield Chukka. Another recent winner here at Shelbourne Park. She won here at 8 days ago in a time of 28.62, and she's only been out of the money once in her 6 starts. 4 is Blessed to Hulk for Jerry Melia, a 3-time winner from 5 starts. Another consistent sort. Starts and stays, a son of Greenwell Hulk, and also posted a good time recently at Shelbourne in 28.68. In 5, we've got Highview Wins for Patsy and Jerry Merriman in Crahan, County Offaly, a winner here 7 nights ago, just like Cabra Blitz. Did it in 28.68, has won 5 from 13, is a son of Over Limit, and looks ideally housed in trap 5. And in 6, we've got Swords Duke for Barbara Lowndes, trained by Graham Holland, 4-time winner from 16 starts, and the son of Rio Quattro has got another couple of runs to boot in his locker. Missed a kick last time. If he can break level on this occasion, he's got a big chance. So it's another Open 525. It's the Retired Greyhound Trust Open 525, or 6th race, and it won't be long until they're being called to traps.
Yes, indeed. Well, we're calling this slot eye catchers in this race, and certainly we have a couple of eye catchers. Cabra Blitz was one of the most impressive winners of the evening here last week, and winning in 28.60. The track wasn't as quick 7 days ago as it is tonight. I can promise you, off a 2:02 sectional. If she repeats that, well, she's going to go round in front, and if she does, judging by what we saw last week, she beat Nemesis 8.5 lengths. You know, it really was an impressive display, and the type of display from a bitch that could have a big say in the likes of the Oaks a little bit later in the year. For Paddy Scally, Cabra Blitz, a leading fancy. Moving on to the next, we're going to take a look at 5 Highview Wins. This fellow also winning in impressive fashion last week in 28.64. This son of Over Limit for Jerry Merriman, staying on stoutly, had turned close to the pace behind Whitewood Axel and really had too much ammunition in the closing yards for that one, winning 4.5 lengths in 28.64. Can it turn as close tonight? Well, we'll soon find out. And trap 6, Swords Duke, out on the outside there. We had nominated this one as a likely winner last week, but completely missed the kick, never really really got involved. He's capable of so much better. Of course, Barbara and Leonard Lowndes did have a very impressive winner here last week in the form of Swords Maestro, who we'll be seeing later on. But this Swords Duke, plenty of dash, but he's just going to need to be that little bit sharper at boxes. If he does come away on terms, well, he could emerge as one of the leading fancies. Cabral Blitz will be a very, very hot favourite, I would imagine, or certainly off track. And of course, don't forget, you can get involved on Barking Buzz. A reminder that the guarantees a little bit later on in the trios, both here at Shelbourne Park for the Shelbourne Open 600 and at Limerick in the Con Annie Kirby Memorial. But now, let's join Rob, get his thoughts on this sixth race. I can't see past Cabral Blitz and go with that one to beat Swords Duke and Highview wins, Rob. It's not an inspiring choice, but I think it's the right choice.
Yeah, well, as I say, Ian, an even money winner is always better than a 20-1 loser. We were talking earlier on today, we were looking for maybe best bets on the card, and I think both of us came down to Cabral Blitz. We were blown away by her here 7 nights ago, as you said, on a tough night. It was her Shelbourne Park debut, and she was scintillating. And in fairness to her 5 rivals tonight, it was probably a similar enough contest. She looks ideally drawn. She looks the most likely leader, and if she leads tonight, as you said, not only will she more than likely win, she'll probably post a good clock. Highview wins for the Merrymans. He obviously is only half a length slower last week, but he steps up quite considerably in grade. That's a little bit of a worry for him. So Swords Duke might be the danger. If he breaks better tonight like he can, he could be the one to follow Cabral Blitz. But for many, she looks the banker on the card. Hopefully we haven't put the mockers on her, but if she comes out, she could post a really good run just like she did last week. So they are loading for our 6th race of the night. This retired Greyhound Trust Open 525. Last couple are going in. And once they're all in, we'll be ready to rock for our 6 races. We get closer and closer to the main action here tonight at Shelbourne. The first round heats of the Shelbourne Open 600. All in for our 6th race. And the hare running in 1 is Awesome Blue, 2 is Cabral Blitz, in 3 is Knock Mitten Boo, 4 Bless the Hulk, 5 is Highview Wins, and in 6 is Swords Duke. And away they go. She's not as well to weight tonight, Cabral Blitz, as she was, and it's Awesome Blue. And on the outside, Bless the Hulk, and it's Bless the Hulk who's going to lead around the opening 2 bend. So Bless the Hulk leads from Awesome Blue. Cabral Blitz turns in third. We'll see how good she is now. She is starting to stay on, and they've kicked on from the remainder into the 3rd bend. This is where Awesome Blue challenges Bless the Hulk. Bless the Hulk, though, isn't giving away. Just behind him is Cabral Blitz. She might get the run of the rail off the final bend. Off the final bend, Cabral Blitz is challenging Awesome Blue on the near side. Bless the Hulk. It's very, very tight. Has Cabral Blitz got up? It's tight between Cabral Blitz and Awesome Blue. It's one of those on the nods. It's the closest finish of the night so far, and the winning time is 28.79.
Yeah, well, a week is a long time in greyhound racing. Last week, Cabral Blitz from boxes, made every inch of running. Tonight, she paddles out of traps. She finds herself in an awkward position in the opening corner, but she stays tight to that fence and all of a sudden finds herself third behind Bless the Hulk and 1 Awesome Blue. They get involved in a bit of a battle up front, and all the while Trap 2 Cabral Blitz is really motoring into that 3rd turn where she hadn't looked a likely winner going into the bend. At this point she probably does look a likely winner, and she stays tight to that fence, and as Awesome Blue just edges off, allows a bit of room for Cabral Blitz to come through, and I think she's up. I think it's fair to say she is up from Awesome Blue and Bless the Hulk. We will leave it to the judge to confirm, but it looks like Cabral Blitz is a good winner in 28.79. She'll need to be getting her trapping boots on in future here at Shelbourne Park, because given the grade she'll be racing in, she won't be able to make this type of start in the future. Just in between them there, 3 Knock Mitten Boo was going up well, but lost its chance of the opening bend, sort of took a wobble there. In behind, 5 and 6 Highview Wins, and Swords Duke again didn't quite get involved, just didn't get away racing quick enough. Instead it was Awesome Blue and Bless the Hulk that set the strong pace to the 3rd bend. But as you see, 1 Awesome Blue is definitely edging off that rail pitch, and all of a sudden it opens up for Cabral Blitz, and she takes it with all 4 paws and gets there in the closing yards. We are still waiting on confirmation of the result, so don't hold me to it, but it does look like Trap 2 Cabral Blitz is after landing the spoils. The result, I think the photo finish has just been called, but no clarification out in the middle of the field. Rob, how about you? You've taken the phone call.
Yeah, Ian, you're a fairly good judge. Last week it was the favourite, or was the Greyhound on the near side that got the nod, but she's just got the nod, and we confirmed that Cabral Blitz has got up later in the last couple of strides to beat Awesome Blue and Bless the Hulk. And it's always a sign of a good Greyhound, especially one who generally tends to need to lead. She didn't tonight. She had to do it the hard way, and she's done it in really battling fashion, and we know how well she can go to the bend. So the fact she came from off the pace tonight has to be a bonus.
Do it both ways. It's a great trait to have in a racing Greyhound. Trap 2, Cabral Blitz. She's 2 weeks of Talking Dogs TV, and she's got 2 wins. I could be wrong, but is she the first to do it? She is the first double winner on Talking Dogs TV. I called it out, and we're moving on now to Limerick, because the Heat 3 of the Con Annie Kirby is fast approaching, and this is an interesting contest. Liam Dowling has a couple of very strong contenders in the form of Ballymac and Ballymac Belvolt. But Mal is about to run through the
third heat of the Con Annie Kirby Memorial 525. 3 to qualify. This is number 1. Those days are gone for the 2-time winning Kirby trainer Brendan Matthews. The Dowling family in Tralee have 2 runners in this heat. One of those is for Liam himself, the trainer Ballymac Merlin. Locally trained here in Limerick, Neelis O'Connell has Derby's Delight, this fellow owned by Conor Byrne of Navan. Trap 4, the second runner for the Dowling Kennels, Ballymac Belvolt for Starboard Out Syndicate and Derek O'Brien. Trap 5, Carl Ramsbottom from the Gary Glass Kennels has for Gary Hannon Deadly Tornado. And 6, Tulla, County Clare represented, Michael McNamara's runner, Rock Along Rocket.
Yes, indeed. 6 quality greyhounds to look ahead to in this Heat 3 of the Con Annie Kirby Memorial. Much will depend on which dog gets the run in the early hours. The first dog we're going to take a look at in this contest is Trap 1, Those Days Are Gone, representing Brendan Matthews, who's already had a winner here at Shelbourne Park. Snowbird, can he have a first winner at Limerick? Well, this fellow has plenty of pace. He ran well in defeat last time out, second to Bumped at the opening corner, but ran well in behind Sing Along Sally. He could well be the key to the race, because Trap 2, Ballymac Merlin, my own choice to land the spoils, owned by Liam Dowling, this son of Vulturian Ballymac Bell. He was squeezed in the early yards last week, but still showed plenty of pace into the opening corner, 4th down the back straight, but did show good speed into the 3rd bend, forced to check up again, and then ran on to finish 3rd late. He really did catch my eye. He's the one I think they all have to stop here, but he does have to clear 1. Those Days Are Gone in the opening yards. And the next one we're going to take a look at is his kennel companion and litter brother, Ballymac Belvolt, a dog that will certainly edge towards the rail in the early yards. He's very strong. He's massive from the 2nd bend. The 3 I didn't mention, Derby's Delight, could be the meat and the sandwich. 5, Deadly Tornado, very well housed. He'll have a clear run. And 6, Rock Along Rocket, good early speed, but whether he's good enough early, well, we'll soon find out. Let's go to Joe, who will have his a few seconds to take a look at this next heat of the Kirby Memorial.
Ian, I'm surprised it's not really like you to pick a favourite in every race to be your selection. I'm going to go with Trap 1. Those Days Are Gone for the Matthews family. They are on fire at the moment. The winner just in Shelbourne, and last night, if you've seen the result, appreciate it. A litter brother to this dog, Those Days Are Gone, put in a magnificent effort last week, or last night even, in Shelbourne Park, winning for the Matthews family. 2, Ballymac Merlin, of course, 5-4 favourite for this heat, is a very, very hotly tipped for this as well. Derby's Delight, of course, for Neelis O'Connell, local trainer to track, will be primed. Ballymac Belvolt, of course, 2nd in the Juvenile Classic in Tralee, kind of a more staying type. If it can show early, it should be definitely in the mix. Deadly Tornado, of course, for Gary Hannon and Carl Ramsbottom. Well, his little brother runs in the next heat as well. I was talking to Carl Ramsbottom during the week. He thinks an awful lot of this fella. Rock Along Rocket for the McNamaras of Tulla, of course, who has magnificent early pace, should be out and gone, but whether he can stay is the question. But I'm going with Those Days Are Gone, 4 and 6 to qualify.
All set. 1, Those Days Are Gone. 2, Ballymac Merlin. 3, Derby's Delight. 4, Ballymac Belvolt. Deadly Tornado is 5, and Rock Along Rocket 6. This is the 3rd heat of the Kirby. 5 noses out in front. Deadly Tornado, 1 going well. Those Days Are Gone. 6 in contention. Rock Along Rocket. Up front, though, Ballymac Merlin is well in the frame. As they go down the back stretch in this, the 3rd heat of the Kirby, it's 5 in front. Deadly Tornado. Ballymac Merlin looking to come back and join the leader, and does so, perhaps in front now. Derby's Delight is in 3rd. Forced to check. Trap 5. We're off the final turn. Going to be a good finish here. 3, 2 and 4. That's Derby's Delight, Ballymac Merlin and Ballymac Belvolt. A surprise here. Time, by the way, 28:42.
Well, Mal hinting there that it was a bit of a surprise, but it certainly was a deserving victory. 28:42 from Derby's Delight. Just watch it in the early yards. It was 5 Deadly Tornado that got away racing up the inside. Those days are gone in a good pitch, but seemed to ease slightly, and all of a sudden too Ballymac Merlin found itself in the perfect position to challenge its 5 Deadly Tornado. Just keep an eye though in trap 3. Derby's Delight back in third spot. Had finished very strongly in its only previous victory at Shelbourne Park on March 23rd, and on this occasion it looked like too Ballymac Merlin had set sail for home, was going to win relatively easily. But trap 3, Derby's Delight hammering home, getting up in the closing yards to deny Ballymac Merlin my selection, and 4 Ballymac Belvolt. The 2 Ballymacs going through in second and third, but it was all about Derby's Delight. Congratulations to Conor Byrne, who I know will be watching on, and Neelis O'Connell, of course, the trainer. Joe, it may have been a bit of a shock, but it was a fine display by Derby's Delight.
An absolutely magnificent display. 28:42. Who could have anticipated that sort of a run to come? Well, Neil O'Connell, of course, is a trainer who is local to this track, a very, very shrewd handler. If you look at the card of Derby's Delight, his recent runs had been in Shelbourne Park and actually ran the previous Tuesday, winning in 28:87 on March 23rd. 4 days later, it took its place in the Kirby. So that suggests maybe last week was his first run around Limerick. And of course, as I've said previously, Limerick is a tough track, it's a stiff track. Qualified, done, and the bare minimum just to qualify last week, and this week really lit up, and it just goes to show you from that 1 week of a difference how much it makes. Very, very impressive. Who would have bet Ballymac Merlin when she hit the front? It should have been all over really, but and 4 as well, Ballymac Belvolt, of course, the 2 Ballymacs marching on to next week's competition. But yeah, it's all about Derby's Delight for Conor Byrne, a great victory for them, and Neelis O'Connell, local trainer to our track here. And we have it. Well done to a fantastic victory. 28:42. Were you expecting that kind of run?
Well, I was really truly. But we here in last week. He can steer, you know.
And I was just looking at his car because he had run in Shelbourne Park. Had he even a time to get a trial around Limerick in recent months?
He had a trial before that. He did 28:45 here on trials and unrecorded.
You were expecting that kind of run?
We were.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Well done and fantastic victory. We hope to see you in the coming rounds.
Thanks very much. Thanks.
Thank you.
Well, no time to waste. The serious stuff here at Shelbourne. The Shelbourne Open 600. Over to Rob.
Yeah, serious stuff indeed. It's the 7th race and it's the opening heat of the first round of the Shelbourne Open 600, and we've got guaranteed trios for the next 4 races as well. First on parade is Medusa for John Meelam and Sean Ryan, trained by John Byrne, a 4-time winner from 16 starts. 7 further placed efforts to her name. She's a daughter of Good News John and JT Osprey, and she looks ideally housed in trap 1. 2 is Iconic Rory for Mark Lowther, trained by Pat Norris, a 5-time winner from 19 starts. Another consistent sort of son of Ballymascaskin. He's one of the more stouter stayers in the lineup. In 3, we have Pierno for Ger Hutton and Tom O'Donovan, a 2-time winner from 14 starts. Has run well at Thurles, Clonmel and here at Shelbourne in the past. He's a son of the Derby winner, Loghill Blake. 4 is Razzle Dazzle Peaky for the Kildare Kilcolgan Syndicate, trained by Neil O'Connell, the Consolation Derby winner. Possibly one of the likeliest leaders early on, and if he leads, he'll take plenty of catching. He's run over this trip at Limerick in the past. 5 is Amazing Champ for John Kennedy and Maria Kennedy, a 5-time winner from 14 starts. Another proven over the 600 trip here at Shelbourne, and is most definitely one for the shortlist. And in 6, we've got Almighty Paddy for Ger Purcell. 5 times this lad has won from 16 starts. He's posted 32.51 for the 600 trip here at Shelbourne in the past, and he's proven over further. He's done good runs over 750, so he's another who from halfway will be doing his best work. The serious stuff starting now here at Shelbourne. It's our 7th race, the first round, the opening heat of the Shelbourne Open 600, and remember, it's also the first of the guaranteed trios here at Shelbourne this evening.
Yes, indeed. Well, Rob has an important role tonight. It's this time of the evening he has to tell the cameraman to it's the second winning line, because it has happened in the past and we haven't done that, and it's cost us. Anyway, we're going to take a look at our 3 eye catchers for this opening heat of the Shelbourne Open 600. Trap 3, Pierno, representing Tommy O'Donovan and Ger Hutton. This is a dog with plenty of ability. I chose this fellow because he probably is going to be suited by the long run to the corner. He could see an improvement in form. He has been running. He had, should I say, one run over the 570 Trip of Thurles, which is a similar and up-type distance, but be interesting to see how well he runs here at Shelbourne Park. He will need to get loose early, but again, he's plenty of ability. Next, we're going to take a look at 4 Razzle Dazzle Peaky. What a star he's been for Niels O'Connell, who's just won the third heat of the Con Annie Kirby Memorial with Derby's Delight. And this fellow has been a star for him, a very well-bred son of Makeshift and Razzle Dazzle Proof, stays every inch of the running. He is 30-70 on his card for 575 yards, including a 476 sectional. That sort of sectional would see him race prominently in the early yards. And the last we're going to take a look at in detail is Amazing Champ, a winner of the Salute to Our Industry Open on Race Stake here at Shelbourne Park last year. A real powerhouse for the Kennedy family, who have quite a team of dogs at present. He's won 5 of his 14, stay every inch of the running. Very short price today with the various firms off course. I think he was a touch too short, but he's certainly a big player. But looking at the rest of them, Medusa in 1, good pace, stepping up in distance, but has a 28.57 on its card at Shelbourne Park. And this daughter, Good News, JT Osprey, certainly bred to stay further. Iconic Rory, perhaps the most interesting of them all, 5 wins from 19, never raced over further than 550 yards. Good early speed, has a 28.15 on his card. If he got loose, well, who knows if he'd stay, although he's certainly bred to being a son of Ballymaceski and Mount Taylor Queen. They both relish this sort of distance. And Almighty Paddy in out in trap 6 for Ger Purcell. I know his family always watch on Almighty Paddy, and he'll be absolutely hammering home. He is good form over further. Robert, it's an intriguing affair. Don't forget that you can get involved. The trio in this race is guaranteed. Rob, a great race to kick off proceedings here in the Shelbourne Open 600. My own choice, I think a value selection is Razzle Dazzle Peaky to beat Amazing Champ. What about yourself?
Yeah, I have to agree with Sheahan, because as we said, the start is going to be the key here. We know this lad can start. We know he stays. He's proven over the 600. And of course, he's posted that 29.19 when he won the Consolation Derby. So if Razzle Dazzle Peaky breaks, he'll take all the beating. All in for our 7th race here at Shelbourne. It is the Shelbourne Open 600, the opening heat of the first round. In 1, Medusa. 2 is Iconic Rory. In 3, Pierno. 4 is Razzle Dazzle Peaky. 5 is Amazing Champ. And in 6 is Almighty Paddy. And away they go. It's level. Razzle Dazzle Peaky showing good early, as is Perno. And Perno's going to lead into the opening bend from Amazing Champ, who's now going well into second. But around the opening 2 bends, and Perno has opened up a 4-length gap over Razzle Dazzle Peaky. Amazing Champ now from here is likely to close on the leader. And then we've got Iconic Rory into the 3rd bend. Perno still in front by about 3 lengths from Razzle Dazzle Peaky. Amazing Champ can close, and then Iconic Rory. But Perno off the final bend. Once this lad hit their front, it's all about one dog. It's getting close in the closing stages. Razzle Dazzle Peaky has tried to close him down, but Pierno had a big enough gap in the end to hold off the renewed challenge of Razzle Dazzle Peaky. We'll have confirmation of the 3rd shortly, but Pierno wins the opening heat of the Shelbourne Open 600, and he's done it in 32.45.
Yes, indeed. Well, Tommy O'Donovan and Ger Hutton had a very famous night at Limerick last year, winning the Ledger with Epic Hero, and it seems that they have another potential star in Pierno. This fellow really did relish the opening strides, the long run to the corner really suiting him. Razzle Dazzle Peaky did come away well, but slightly outpaced into the bend. Amazing Champ running off that opening corner, slightly stumbling, and that allowed Razzle Dazzle Peaky to go into 2nd spot. But Pierno didn't really look in threat until the last few strides, when he did start to tie up. Just wonders if the 600-yard trip is just a little bit too far for him, but very interesting to see how well he went to that final turn and up the home straight. His stride did shorten, but for Razzle Dazzle Peaky just couldn't get there. In behind, Amazing Champ, who will almost certainly come on for the run, did seem to tie up somewhat, but he held on for 3rd spot. A cracking start to the Shelbourne Open 600. Again, we'll have another look at them. Just watch Pierno in trap 3, going up like an arrow. Razzle Dazzle Peaky getting on a little bit, perhaps not quite the early dash that we'd have expected him to show after that start, but he does find himself in 2nd spot off the 2nd bend, and he does close in the closing yards, but really they're making no impression to this 3rd bend. Pierno clear into that 3rd bend for Tommy O'Donovan and Ger Hutton. Further behind, trap 2, Iconic Rory does run a big race in defeat. Unfortunately, he does finish 4th and out of the qualifying places, but trap 3, Pierno, at this point, just all of a sudden the stride seemed to fall apart, and he's digging deep for getting there, Razzle Dazzle Peaky, but all too late. 32.45 by Pierno, a good winner. Razzle Dazzle Peaky 2nd. Moving on now to the action at Limerick. Explosive Boy in action. Let's join Mal for Heat 4 of the Con Annie Kirby Memorial.
The favourite to win out the Kirby is number 1, Explosive Boy, for Pat Gilfoyle, following that sensational run of 28.08 last weekend. Number 2 is owned and trained by John Meehan of Newmarket and Fergus. It's Bling Bling Pole. Brendan Matthews, no stranger to the winner's enclosure in the Kirby, has number 3 in the white, The Machine. Trainer Liam Dowling is looking for a double on the programme this evening. He has Ballymac Cash Out this time, trap 4. Winner in the first round is Deadly Destroyer for Gary Hannon in Bray and trained by Carl Ramsbottom. Trap 6 is an absentee, that's Nitro Anto. Graham Holland's runner is injured. 5-dog race.
Yes, indeed, a 5-dog race, but what 5 dogs we have. It really is a cracking contest. Explosive Boy was sensational in the opening round, 28.08 off of 15.87. He was absolutely sensational. If repeating that line of form, he'd be very hard to beat. Pat Guilfoyle for Peter Sutcliffe, who is going to be moving back to Ireland very soon, so it'll be interesting to see if Peter can get over and see this fellow from his television screen, unfortunately, here in Ireland. But Explosive Boy, a big player. In second, the second dog we're going to take a look at is Ballymac Cash Out. This fellow came to win on 3 different occasions last week, found himself cut off on 2 or 3 different occasions, but he has massive pace, massive gears. If he did happen to hit the lids from trap 4, well, he should lead up the likes of Bling Bling Paul and The Machine, and he could emerge as a serious threat to Explosive Boy. One for Liam Dowling, of course. And out in 5, Deadly Destroyer, one of the most impressive winners in the opening round, with 28.36 for the deadly duo Gary Hannon and Carl Ramsbottom. Of course, he is on the outside with nothing in trap 6. He will edge inwards if he gets the room, but he could do so with Ballymac Cash Out himself also likely to edge in. It's a cracking contest. The one we didn't mention was The Machine in trap 3. Extremely strong, a very fast greyhound. Joe, great race to look forward to. But Explosive Boy, perhaps the one to have to beat. I think at the prices I'd have my 5er on Ballymac Cash Out.
Ian, I'm absolutely overwhelmingly surprised that you've gone for a dog that's not the favourite, Explosive Boy, at 4-7. Well, as we said last week, Explosive by name, explosive by nature. 15.87 to the third bend. Yet to have confirmation, but it looks like a kind of record. 4.08 to the first bend. The bottom line is this: if he repeats 4.08 to the first bend, that's it, lights out, contest over. But after a run like that, sometimes it can happen that you might just be that shade little slower out of the traps, and who knows what could happen. Bling Bling Paul in trap 2, of course, for John Meehan of Newmarket and Fergus, local to this track. The Machine for Brendan Matthews. I was here a number of weeks ago when The Machine trialled before racing in 28.16. His splits on the day were 4.30. 4.30 would not be good enough to lead, and if he can improve on that, if he can even be in the frame earlier on and get a bit of open ground, who knows what kind of run this dog could do. Of course, he was a Toaster Puppy Derby finalist, and the Matthews family think an awful lot of him. He's a very exciting dog, and should, if he gets a bit of open space and can trap reasonably well, who knows what kind of run this dog could do. Ballymac Cash Out, well, as you say, 28.01 winner around Shelbourne Park. Look at him last week. It was a bit frustrating. Switched on the inside, switched to the outside. If he can get a clear run, who knows what kind of run he could do as well. And Deadly Destroyer, of course, as you said, for the deadly combination of Gary Hannon and Carl Ramsbottom. He put in a great run last week in 28.36. Was so impressive. He done 16.19 and to the third bend and 4.16 to the first bend. Going by those splits, he will be in contention early on, but it's all to play for here. And of course, we must mention the GA clubs involved here. For South Liberties, of course, of JP McManus's own club, how fitting would it be to see Deadly Destroyer advance on and claim glory in this competition? But it's a very interesting heat. All eyes will be on trap 1, Explosive Boy, but 5 of the top greyhounds in the country are over to you, Mel.
Hot heat here. Explosive Boy, Bling Bling Pole, The Machine, Ballymac Cash Out, Deadly Destroyer. Trap 6 vacant. The one favourite is one, doesn't get away that smartly. Number 4, Ballymac Cashout leads early on. One back, Explosive Boy, 5 on the outside. Deadly Destroyer, we're off the second turn. Up front it's Trap 1, Explosive Boy, almost joined by Deadly Destroyer. In third it's Trap 4, Ballymac Cashout. 3 to qualify for the next stage of the Kirby. It's 5 now that leads. 3 is second. 5 in front, Deadly Destroyer from 3, The Machine. We're off the final turn. 3 and 5, good buckle between them, and 1 does qualify. Explosive Boy. The time here is 28:52. Up front, The Machine, Deadly Destroyer. 28:52, the clock.
Yeah, indeed, there was plenty happening in this contest, and it all sort of happened in the early yards with Explosive Boy slightly missing the kick from Trap 1. Ballymac Cashout, in contrast, did come away well, but so too did Deadly Destroyer. Into the corner, something had to give, and unfortunately it was Ballymac Cashout that lost out in the middle. He was forced to check his stride at that point. Out front, Explosive Boy leads, but here Deadly Destroyer was to show deadly pace into that third bend, and well, the two of them wanting the inside line, and well, the one to lose out was Explosive Boy, with Deadly Destroyer going to the front. The Machine was absolutely hammering at this point. He's looking for an inside path. The pair of them clash, but Deadly Destroyer just shaking him off. 3 in second spot, The Machine, and Explosive Boy going through in third spot, perhaps slightly luckily. Ballymac Cashout, a big name casualty there in that contest, so too Bling Bling Paul, but lots happening. It was Deadly Destroyer that came out in top 4, Carl Ramsbottom and Gary Hannon. Very determined winner, shall we say, Joe, but a very messy contest despite the fact there was only 5 runners. What were your thoughts?
Yeah, we were just saying before the race scene about South Liberty's J Club having Deadly Destroyer. What a performance he put in. When they were neck and neck going up the back straight, I had in my mind that Explosive Boy last week done 15.87 to the third bend, came home in about 12.21. Deadly Destroyer actually came home in 12.17 last week. So I had in my mind that it wasn't going to be all one-way traffic for Explosive Boy at the third bend. When Deadly Destroyer came up sides, it was a very, very impressive performance by Deadly Destroyer. Explosive Boy just seemed to just lose his momentum a small bit there in the end, but still, thank God he qualified, and we're going to see his class and brilliance, I'm sure, in action. It's very, very hard. He did 28.08 last week. It's very hard for a dog to put in a performance like that week in, week out, so it's great that he qualified. Well, look at The Machine, of course, for the matches. My God, he really ran on strong. He ran on like an absolute hurricane. He's doing his best work late. If he can get his trapping boots or start coming out and being prominent early on, who knows what kind of a run this dog, The Machine, could do. But Deadly Destroyer marches on for the wonderful South Liberties J Club, and of course Hospital Herbertstown for The Machine. And we have Carl, fantastic run, Jizzy. He really kicked on there for home.
He did, Joe, yeah. Look, it's grand to stay in it, you know what I mean? So heat of death, I call that, you know. So
heat of death, yeah.
We're hoping, I spoke during the week, we're hoping to qualify, and look, he's through the next round, you know. It's a good heat, you know. Look at the replay there. Shane's dog went up fierce well. Ballymac dog out fella, he was looking to get around, you know.
And he comes home strong. I just noticed his splits there, about 12.16. He's coming home very strong.
Yeah, look, you know, coming home is not a problem. He stays strong enough. We're happy enough the way he stays. But, you know, look, it's all about staying. It's a great competition. We'd like to be there for another round and back next week.
And so fitting, of course, for South Liberties, JP McManus is on.
Brilliant for JP. Hopefully we can keep the flag flying for another week anyhow, Joe.
Well, Carol, well done. Brilliant performance, and we're looking forward to seeing you in action the next couple of weeks. Well done.
Thanks very much, Joe.
Well, 2 men that can really talk, but we have to cut them short because they're on parade here at Shelbourne Park for the second heat of the Shelbourne Open 600. We may have missed 1 or 2. We'll come back to them.
The parade has started, and we're on to Trap 2, which is Monbeg Zinzan for Eamon Doyle and Ennis Scorty, a 6-time winner from 26 starts. One of 2 in the lineup who are proven over the 600 trip, posted 32.54 in Mullingar. In 3 is Own Spice for Thomas O'Doherty and John Brown, has won 8 times from 23 outings. The other of these who are proven over the trip has posted 32.43 for the 600 yards here at Shelbourne. A reproduction of that would see him go close. 4 is Cabra Dawn for Ava Scally, a daughter of Overlimit, and that brilliant bitch Cabra Millie, bidding to give the Scallies a double here tonight at Shelbourne, and she's won 5 from 17 so far, a regular at Thurles. In 5 is Ath Lacazette for Noel Nenine in Kilmallock. Has won once from 14 starts. The son of Patsy Sabbath, taking a little bit of a step up in class, but not without its chance. And in 6 is Clash Denzo for Ian Murray and Sean O'Hanlon. Has won 3 from 11 starts. Has been placed a further 5 times as a son of Skywalker Farlow, and the only white seed, I should say, in our 8th race. So once again, the guarantee trio for this 8th race applies. The trio in a previous race was the best part of €150. So remember, if you're not in, you can't win. It's the second heat, the first round of the Shelbourne Open 600, and Greyhounds will be going to Trap shortly.
Yes, indeed. Well, one dog we did miss out on was Price's Jet. It just so happens that we have him as one of our eye catchers because this is a greyhound with a massive engine and big promise. Despite the fact that he's in August 18, he's always given the impression that he was going to be a 2021 dog. The longer run to the corner will suit. I'm not so certain that the inside is Trop 1 is exactly where he wants to be. Perhaps more of a middle runner, but he has the early speed to lead up a couple of these on his outer. And well, if he does come away on terms, I think he'll be very hard to stop. The second we're going to take a look at is also on the inside, Monbeg Zinzan. I can't wait for this fellow to step up to 750 yards. I think he's a real stare in the making. He has massive pace from the second bend. He's been running exceptionally well in recent times, and of course he ran well in last year's Cesarewitch over the 600-yard trip at Mullingar. A real powerhouse for Eamon Doyle. Just keep an eye on him off the second bend. If he's close, well, he could take some stopping. And Trap 3 Own Spice for Thomas O'Doherty and John Brown. This fellow, a son of Skywalker Puma and Coolavany Spice. Massive pace down the back straight. If he happened to hit the lids and race prominently into that corner, he's another one that could play a big part in proceedings. The three I didn't mention, Cabra Dawn for the Scallies, of course. They've already had a winner here tonight. This is some decent form. It is stepping up in company. 5 at Lacazette. It ran well here in the early rounds of the Derby last year. Good early speed. He'll need to set the standard, or he'll need to set the pace on the outside from Trap 5. He only has the one win. That came last July, and certainly with a record from 14-1, he might need a little bit of luck, and this certain can be said for Trap 6 Clash Denzo. Currently qualifies to race in A2 company. He's out on the outside. I dare say that the betting on Barking Buzz would suggest Trap 1 Price's Jet is the one to beat, and you can check that yourselves at home, but I can see from here he's odds on, and that's not a surprise. Price's Jet, if he does come away on terms, I'll expect to see this fellow opening up. He's a massive engine, and the son of Droopy's Jet and Ravenna, actually bred by our last winning trainer, Tommy O'Donovan, a greyhound with plenty of ability. For Paul Hennessy, who, as Robert said earlier on, has won this competition so many times in the past, 6 times in all, bidding for number 7, and Price's Jet is not without a chance. This is an exceptionally fast greyhound. Rob, a good lineup, but it's very much about the inside tree for me.
Yeah, absolutely, and he is the intriguing runner, and as we were saying a little bit beforehand, I just thought he was the one outside the obvious ones. He still has to prove it, but I thought he was the one who might be intriguing, and he might prove good enough to go all the way, but he's going to have to break tonight. It's no formality. He's done it in trials, and he's done it in 5.25s and 5.50s, but if he can break well tonight, he could post a good run, and he's a greyhound who could contest a lot of the top competitions right throughout the remainder of the year for Paul Hennessy, who, as we said, has won this competition 6 times in the past. But if he breaks, he's a great chance. If he doesn't, it might be Own Spice. But they are loading for our 8th race. It's the second of the first round heats of the Shelbourne Open 600. Remember, we've got another guaranteed trio for this 8th race, and it's your last chance to get involved because they're all in. And they are running for our 8th race, the second heat of the Shelbourne Open 600. And 1 Priceless Jet, 2 Monbeg Zinzan, in 3 is Own Spice, 4 is Cabra Dawn, 5 at Lacazette, and 6 Clash Denzo. And away they go. He's not that well away, Priceless Jet. 5 is well away at Lacazette up the outside, and Priceless Jet now getting into gear and turns second into the opening bend. So it's 5 on the outside at Lacazette, but a big chance for Priceless Jet to take over, and he gets in front off the second bend, and he starts to motor now. Priceless Jet by just over a length, 2 at Lacazette. Back in third now his Own Spice, starting to stay on, and then Monbeg Zinzan. But Priceless Jet, he's just starting to go clear now of at Lacazette and off the final bend after a slightly slow start. He's put this to bed in pretty good style, and Priceless Jet is a very good winner of our second heat from at Lacazette, who's finished second. Monbeg Zinzan showed his stamina to finish third and qualify, and it's a really good run by Priceless Jet because he's done it in 32.20.
Yeah, 32.20. If my memory serves me correctly, that is the clock that Late Late Show once held the track record here. It could be 32.20 or 32.21, but the Late Late Show, of course, trained by Paul Hennessy, and Priceless Jet, also trained by Paul Hennessy. This fellow didn't come away, well, flying by any stretch, but he showed good speed into the opening corner. I was concerned he might check off at this point. Remember, he has been running as a middle seed in the past, but staying tight to the fence off that second bend, he hits the front, and once doing so, well, if you're familiar with this greyhound, you were fairly comfortable he was going to charge charge into that third bend and stay on strongly. At Lacazette ran a big race for a long way. Indeed, he runs a big race for the entirety of it, because he does stay on for second spot. Just keep an eye in and behind Monbeg Zinzan, absolutely hammering home. As I keep saying to you, he wants further. He'll be a great dog over 750 yards. But Price's Jet, an awful lot to like about this fellow. We were speaking of him and talking dogs on Monday over the months. Tommy Lyons was always suggesting that he didn't want to be on the outside. Well, it just so happens that Tommy was right. This fellow on the inside, making the most of it, did drift off slightly there, but once straightening up, showed good early speed. He's second into the bend behind that Lacazette, and well, just waited his turn, got that gap, and goes off the second bend. A real racy performance by Price's Jet, and this son of Droopy's Jet in Ravenna, clocking 32.20. Not many dogs have done 32.20 or faster in the past. It's a hell of a run. It's worth keeping in mind coming into these next two heats that the track record is 31.91. I'm not saying they'll break it, but they might be too far off if one or two of the big guns get loose. Fine display. 5 at Lacazette second. Monbeg's Zinzan was third. And now we're looking ahead in a moment to the next heat of the Con Annie Kirby Memorial. Of course, we've got the remaining heats to look forward to. At Shelbourne Park, we've got two magnificent heats of the Shelbourne Open 600 to look forward to. We've got the clash of Billy's Diva and Ballymac Wild, and then that final heat. We've got some really big guns in a great name, that the reigning champion, Ballymac Kingdom, bidding to become the third dual winner of the Shelbourne Open 600 after the likes of Kingo and back in the 70s, Ballybeg Prim. But that's all still to come. Meanwhile, we're getting ready at Limerick for the next contest. It's Heat 5 of the Con Annie Kirby Memorial. Fastest of these last round was Droopy's Fittest, who clocked 28.35, but Romeo Magico was a big eye catcher in 28.40. Let's join Mal for the parade. As you can see, they're being led by Scarty Yank. So it's over to you, Mal.
This is the fifth heat in round 2 of the Con Annie Kirby Memorial 525, kindly supported by the McManus family of Martinstown. The first of the runners is Scarty Yank, jointly owned by Gary Deneen and Patrick Reardon of Scarta Glen, Slievlocra, Kerry. In the blue jacket, it's number 2, Brokewood Hope, for the Step Into My Office syndicate. Trap 3, Robert Gleeson, the winner of the Kirby 2 years ago, has Droopy's Fittest here for Killian Cronin and Kevin Barry, first round winner. Trap 4, Graham Holland trains Mallox Marley for the KDB syndicate. Also from the Riverside Kennels, we have Romeo Magico. This is also a first round winner. Trap 6, also clocking 28.77 to win in the first round, Hello Mikey, for Gary Silcock.
Yes, indeed. We've after seen the runners for Heat 5 of the Con Annie Kirby Memorial with Mal. The 3 we're going to take a look at. Well, we're going to start with Trap 3, Droopy's Fittest, for Robert Gleeson. Of course, he won the Kirby 2 years ago, but that was the last running of the Kirby, so he's bidding to retain the title, this time with Droopy's Fittest. Very impressive last week, 28.35. In theory, Trap 3 should suit him better than Trap 4 because he's straight for the fence. This fellow will not stop until he gets to the rail. He'll come home on his left shoulder. He'll have white paint. That's how tight he is to it. If he does get loose, it'd be very hard to pick up. Next, we're going to take a look at Romeo Magico. This fellow having just his third career start last week. A little bit flat at boxes, but showed magnificent early speed to challenge into the bend, took it up, flew down the back straight, 16.16 to the third bend off a paddling type start. He's clearly a greyhound with a massive future, but Trap 5 is a concern. And out in 6, Hello Mikey, very well housed. If he hits the lids, this fellow can really race to the corner. I'd expect him to step up in last week's form. It's a cracking contest. The 3 we didn't mention can run. Scarty Yank, very well housed, a good starter on the inside, not blessed with early, but very strong. Brokewood Hope will need luck in 2, and Mallox Marley, if he produces best form, a big player. Joe, briefly before they go to boxes.
Winning in 28.35. There's so much early pace in this race, and the sectionals, to study the form I've been doing, is all the early sections are so tight. I expect them to be very close going to the first bend. Whoever pings the lids tonight should get that bit of early room to manoeuvre. Of course, Brokewood Hope, that bit of yawl form looks exciting for him. Scarty Yank, of course, who won in 28.55, the Kirby Trial Stake winner number of weeks ago. Romeo Magico is probably one I would fancy for this one in 28.40. Win last week, but the problem maybe could be the orange jacket of Trap 5 could be tricky for him to manoeuvre. And Hello Mikey, of course, the talking dog over the last few weeks, and was so impressive last week in his victory for Gary Silcock. It's all to play for here. Over to you, Mel.
Here on the move, 1 Scotty Yank, 2 Broke with Hope, 3 Juvies Pittis, 4 Mallox Marley, 5 Romeo McGeeko, and 6 Hello Mikey. Underway in the 5th heat, number 1 Scotty Yank breaks well, as does Broke with Hope, Trap 2. 1 from 2 moving to the second turn, 4 gaining ground, Mallox Marley. It's 1, 4 and 2, Romeo McGeeko, Trap 5. The favourite is Giant third. This is the second bend from the finish. It's 1, 4, 5 and 2. 1 Scotty Yank leads from Mallox Marley. Coming off the final bend, stand side. 1 goes on to win, 4 and 2. And 5 fails to qualify. 1 Scotty Yank has won it for Gary Dineen and Patrick Reardon. The time 28:31, the Giant fastest time of the Kirby tonight.
Yes, indeed, joint fastest of the Kirby along with Bombardier, and doing a 16:20 to the third bend. A big run by Scarty Yank. The key to success here, flying start and straight to the middle. As he does that, well, the rest just get involved. 2 also forced wide, Broke with Hope, and it just leaves Scarty Yank with a lovely run into the corner. That's his Achilles heel into the opening bend, but once getting around in front, all this fellow does is gallop. He just motors to that third bend, and just watch him from this point. He really powers up the home straight. Mallox Marley running a big race in second spot, and Broke with Hope back in third. But we're after losing the likes of Droopy's Fittest and Romeo Magico and Hello Mikey. They were all facing tricky enough draws, and I'm afraid a slow start allied with the inside runners moving to the middle was to cost them their chance of getting through to the next round of the Kirby. But fine display by Scarty Yank. You can't take it away from him. Just be concerned that if you're outside him and he's in Trap 1 the next night, he's going to do something very, very similar indeed. But a fine win for Gary Dineen, and PK Reardon, this son of Drippy Sydney, now has won 3 of his 6 starts. Joe, I dare say you're more than familiar with Scarty Yank, and I suppose the key to success was getting to the front early and holding up his rivals.
Yeah, as we discussed beforehand, it was going to be all about the early pace here. When he won his Kirby trial stake in Limerick a number of weeks ago, he done 4:17 sectional. Tonight he did 4:19, and that was all about just leading, and he really powered on home in a time of 28:31. When he won in Limerick a few weeks ago, he won in 28:55, and it just goes to show you at this age, he's a June 19 whelp, so he's not yet 2 for another 3 months. At this kind of age, greyhounds are open to massive improvement, and in those couple of weeks he's after improving those 3 or 4 lengths, which is good enough for victory here. We have an interview on the way as well, and Mallox Marley running with great credit in second. And of course, Trap 2 Broke with Hope. And we have Gary on the way over for Gary. Fantastic performance. 28:31 was the run you were expecting?
It was. I don't think Trap 1 there. I don't know would have suited him or not, but he did.
Yeah. And of course, from Scarty Clay, the Kerry boys, they're shrewd when they come to Limerick. They like to pick up the glory.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, it was a very impressive run. And of course, he won the trial second here in 28:55.
Yeah.
So this was mapped out for him for a while to come here.
It was. We mapped it out since he won in Tralee.
Yeah. And that shortened the last couple of months for you, of course. Looking forward to this competition.
Jesus, they shortened it the last couple of months.
Yeah, I bet you the excitement is unreal.
Everything locked down now and everything like that.
It's brilliant. Well done.
Happy man, happy dog. Meanwhile, here at Shelbourne, they're on parade for Heat 3 of the Shelbourne Open 600 to Rob.
Trip at Shelbourne. They are parading. We've had Exile Storm, and second on parade is one of the greyhounds to beat and one of the fastest bitches in Ireland. It's Billy's Diva for Marie and John Kennedy, a 6-time winner from 16 starts, third in the Easter Cup. No look in Limerick last week. She's having her first start over 600, and if she breaks, they'll know all about it. 3 Ballymac Wild, the Irish Derby finals for Liam Dowling. Liam's won this competition twice in the past. This lad has won 11 from his 30 starts, posted a scintillating 29.07 in the Irish Greyhound Derby quarter-finals here last September. He's a big player. 4 is Rockburst Mike for the Bit of Crack Syndicate, trained by Jerry Griffin, a 5-time winner from 25 starts, proven over this trip down in Limerick when posting 32.68. In 5 is Ballydoyle Rossa, the most less exposed of these in the lineup. She's also one of 2 females. She's a daughter of Droopy Sydney and Ballymacraz. She's won 2 from 3 so far, but she steps up quite considerably in grade. And in 6 we've got Auxerre for Ollie Shields and Nuria, 8-time winner from 26 start, another proven over the trip, and he's done this in 32.38. He beat Beach Avenue here a couple of weeks ago, and if he reproduces that, he'll take some beating. So a brilliant third heat of the Shelbourne Open 600 coming up. It's another trio that we're guaranteed. It's our 9th race, and it won't be long until they're called to traps.
Yeah, of course, the one dog we did miss there was Exile Storm, and well, you've seen plenty of him in recent weeks here at Shelbourne Park. A good winner last time out in 29.97 for the 550 owned by the GDG Syndicate. But now we'll take a look at my eye catchers. It'd be no surprise to anyone that we have Billy's Diva up first. This lady, of course, was one of the favourites for the Easter Cup. She also was very unlucky in the final of the National Puppy Stake at the back end of last year. She's a real talent. She was desperately lucky to get knocked out of the Kirby last week when she looked like doing a serious run from the front, badly balked on the opening corner. But this daughter of good news in JT Sahara is a star for Maria and John Kennett. If she hits the front, well, they'll have to go some to catch her. Next, we're going to take a look at Trap 3, Ballymac Wild, one of the undoubted stars of 2020. This fellow won the Juvenile Classic. He was second in the Champions Stakes. He reached the Derby final. He was beaten favourite in the Ledger final. He was also in the Kingdom Derby final. He's a dog with immense pace and power. I've been saying for a long, long time that the step up to 600 yards could really crown him. He is by far, or certainly not, should I say, and also ran here behind Billy's Diva. He's a massive danger to her if he does happen to hit the lids, and he's very capable of making a fast start. Well, this fellow could go very, very quick indeed. And the last we're going to take a quick look at is Auxerre out the outside for Ollie Shields. This fellow's been running extremely well in recent months. Son of Droopy Sydney and Tom's Delight. 30.81 estimated for 5.75 last time here at Shelbourne Park. He'll fly up the outside. Looks almost guaranteed a clear run. The 3 I missed out on, Exile Storm, good starter, good pace, but facing a tough test. Rockburst Mike, he's a really talented tracker, always in the frame, but really is biting off more than he can chew, I dare say, in this contest. And Ballydoyle Rossa is the interesting one in Trap 5 for P.O. Barry. Lots of pace, lots of power. He's only had the 3 starts, but he's shown an immense amount of talent. I'm not making any wild predictions like our Limerick Lothario, but I am telling you that the track record is 31.91. Just keep it in your mind. Law Hill Duke back in 2015. Second on that night was Ballydoyle Honey, who of course is same prefix as Ballydoyle Rossa in this contest. She is the only other runner ever to break 32 seconds, and she did so in defeat. What a special lady she was. It's a great race to look forward to. Billy's Diva and Ballymac Wild. You know, I in these situations I tend to go with the dog that's a slightly bigger price. Ballymac Wild for me, but it'd be no surprise to me if Billy's Diva wins in style. To Rob.
All in for our 9th race, Heat 3 of the Shelbourne Open 600, and 1 Exile Storm, 2 Billy's Diva. In 3 is Ballymac Wild, 4 is Rockburst Mike, 5 is Ballydoyle Rossa, and 6 is Auxerre. And away they go. Ballymac Wild is slowly into stride. Billy's Diva, though, is quicker. And Auxerre on the outside. The big 3 are 1, 2, 3 into the opening bend. And it's Billy Diva who leads them. Auxerre travelling a little bit wide. And Ballymac Wild moves second. So up the back straight. And Billy's Diva, no excuses from here, because she leads by 3 from Ballymac Wild, who's starting to close the gap. Then we got Ballydoyle Rossa and Auxerre. But around the top 2 bends, and Billy's Diva still the one to catch. But Ballymac Wild is trying to close her down, as is Ballydoyle Rossa. But Billy's Diva is going to bounce back in brilliant fashion, and she's done it over the 600 here at Shelbourne. She's led from start to finish. It's tight for second between Ballydoyle Rossa and Ballymac Wild, and the winning time is 32.24. A really good 600 debut from Billy's Diva.
Yeah, it sure was a fantastic 600-yard debut for Billy's Diva. The same could be said for Ballymac Wild, and just watch Trap 5, Ballydoyle Rossa back in third. But Billy's Diva, that's something she has developed this year, is that little bit of acceleration. She gets to the front, she comfortably leads by a length and a half into the back straight. She increases it to 2.5 lengths over Ballymac Wild. You know he's always going to keep going to the winning line, but just keep an eye in behind them. 5 Ballydoyle Rossa. What speed he's shown and pace. He's one for the future. This was only his 4th career start, and he's taking on 2 absolute superstars in Billy's Diva and Ballymac Wild. But Billy's Diva, we knew she'd stay the trip. She really does gallop on hard over 550 and 525 yards. It's close enough for second spot between Ballymac Wild and Ballydoyle Rossa, who was very much the eye catcher in third, or I'm going to say third spot, Ballydoyle Rossa, or that's where he was for much of the journey. But Billy's Diva, a brilliant, brilliant performer. Let's watch it again, because it really does deserve to be watched again. Billy's Diva getting to the front. Ballymac Wild, a dog that often comes on for a run through the early rounds of a stake, so keep that in mind. He was headed early on this occasion, but he can fly from boxes, and just keep that in mind going forward. But Ballydoyle Rossa again in third. Behind the Mugs Air, just tried to stay with them, he just couldn't. 1 Exile Storm and Rockburst Mike never really landing a blow. Instead, Billy's Diva leads off the final turn by 2.5, maybe 3 lengths, and well, she really does gallop on up the home straight. She really is a star, this daughter of Good News and JT Sahara. 5 got second, I've been told, Ballydoyle Rossa. That means that Ballymac Wild was back in third, but first, second and third lost. Well, they all performed in the highest and best possible way. Billy's Diva, very impressive, but second and third also very satisfactory. I can't wait to see them in action again next week. Meanwhile, at Limerick, the dogs will be going on parade very shortly for this next heat of the Con Annie Kirby Memorial. We're in need of a winner as regards the tipping stakes. Just looking at them, the bitch in Trop 1, Fabulous Azura, she may edge off the fence like she did last week. We saw Scarty Yank doing so in the last race at Limerick, and that was the key to his success. But this is a very, very open contest with the likes of Bocco's Belly, Vigorous Book and Vallegro in traps 3 and 4. Ballymac Ariel, one of the fastest bitches I've ever seen. She's been a little bit stop-start in her career. She's had her own little problems, but if she does happen to hit the lids, I can promise you one thing, this lady can really take off. And out in trap 6 is Viper's Buzz, one of the real eye catchers in the opening race. A massive run in defeat behind Droopy's Fitters when beaten 3 parts of a length. Off to Mal.
Holland is Fabulous Azura, trap 1. Number 2, a useful runner around the UK tracks, and lately at Limerick, Bocco's Belly, also for Graham Holland. Number 3, Vigorous Buck, is for Ronnie Woods, no stranger to the track at Limerick, a winner last weekend. Also in the winners' enclosure 7 days ago, Vallegro for Paula and Morris Heffernan. Moving on to Ballymac Ariel, the national puppy champion for Liam Dowling. Trap 6 in the stripes, we have Viper's Buzz for Kieran Hicks of Drogheda, owned and trained.
Yes, indeed, we're going to take a look at our 3 eye catchers, or 3 to watch in this next contest. And I've gone with the bitch in 1 first, Fabulous Azura for Graham Holland and their great fed David Firminger. This daughter of Magical Bale and fabulous artist won well last time out. She hit the front early, but she did edge off the inside line. Just keep an eye on that in this contest. She did a 4.16, 16.19 and 28.15. Nothing wrong with that. She's won 4 of her 6. She is a real talent. She was a star in the Rural Hawaii It Stood unraced down at Clonmel. Moving on, we're going to take a look at Trap 5 Ballymac Ariel, another one of these superstar bitches that seem to be littered in Ireland at present. There's any amount of them, and well, she's perhaps the fastest of them. If she puts it all together, this lady could go very quick indeed. What's the track record? 27.95. Our Limerick Lothario suggested the clock might go tonight. Well, if one was to do it, this is one that's certainly capable of doing so. Ballymac Ariel for Liam Dowling. And out in 6, Viper's Buzz, a real eye catcher in the opening round. Kieran Hicks is having a bit of a fun time with this fellow. He was beaten in 28.35 last week, but he's only beaten 3 parts of a length and lost nothing in defeat. It was a serious run, and if he did happen to hit the lids, which is perhaps his Achilles heel, if he did hit the lids on the outside, he's capable of making a bold bid. Bocco's Belly's in Trap 2. We didn't mention him. Coming back from the UK, he got lost last week, took a few bumps. I thought he ran well in defeat. Vigorous Book is very strong, left and front last week to win his heat. And Vallegro, a very progressive tracker for Morris and Paula Heffernan. He is going forward. He'll need to be at his very sharpest from Trap 4 in this one. Joe, a cracking race to look forward to. Give us your thoughts.
Yes, Ian, and just to let you know, you're not off the hook yet as regards the singing competition. I hope you have Limerick or a lady learned after your stellar performance on RGB TV. We're looking forward to that later. But right now, Vipers Buzz goes from trap 6. I was chatting to Kieran Hicks during the week. He said it was his first time around Limerick last week for Vipers Buzz, and he's going to come on a ton from that run. Fabulous Azura, of course, did that early splits last week. 4.16 to the first bend. If you can repeat that from trap 1, it's definitely going to be in the shake-up. Vallejo, so impressive as well in its victory last week. Ballymac Aerial for Doon GA. Well, if she can put it together tonight, who knows what she can do out in trap 5. If she could get a bit of room to manoeuvre and gets her trapping boots on, you can rest assured she is going to be well in the shake-up. Baco's Belly ran with great credit in open competitions in England over the last number of months and came back to Ireland, finishing 4th last week, just qualified, but expect that one to improve as well. If I had to go for a trio here, probably Vipers Buzz, Ballymac Aerial and Fabulous Azura on the inside for Graham Holland to progress, but it's all to play for here, and it's over to you, Mal.
Fittingly, it's a green flag raised. Fabulous Azura, Baco's Belly, Vigorous Buck, Vallegro, Ballymac Aerial, Vipers Buzz. We're away from traps, and best of all is number 1, Fabulous Azura, followed by Vallegro into the turn, followed by Ballymac Aerial. It's 1, 4 and 5, 6, 2 and 3. That's the pecking order as they motor now gamely towards the third bend. Fabulous Azura by 2 to 3 lengths on Vallegro. 5 Ballymac Aerial shows modest improvement. It's 1, 4 and 5 looking to qualify for the quarterfinals. Fabulous Azura leads them home, tight for second between Vallegro and Ballymac Aerial. A win for Graham Holland. The time here, 28:26.
Yes, indeed. Well, Fabulous Azura, she's 2 from 2 in the Con Annie Kirby Memorial. This lady, as you're about to see, racing from trap 1, well, she hit the lids, and she really did hit the lids. Vallegro going up well in second spot. Ballymac Aerial going in between Vallegro and Vipers Buzz into third spot. You were expecting her to take off from this point. Mal described it as modest improvement down the back straight, but when you're outpacing the likes of Vallegro down the far side, you can really racing. She challenged for second on the third bend, couldn't get around, but all the time, Fabulous Azura is just galloping on strongly. As I said, she was a star in the rural Hawaii. It stood unraced down at Clonmel, and she remains a star. She's a class act. Tight for second between Vallegro and Ballymac Aerial, who may have just grabbed second on the line, but that's definitely one for the judge. I don't know. Joe, what's up for second spot? But more importantly, give us your thoughts on Fabulous Azura. She was sensational.
Absolutely sensational, Ian. I'm so reluctant now to call it between the photo finish. It was so tight between Vallegro and Ballymac Aerial after last week's humiliation. But yeah, take nothing away from the performance. 16.04 to the third bend, 4.14 to the opening corner. 4.14 is fair moving, and as we said, showed that early pace last week. 4.16, it just shows how consistent that pitch is. Fabulous Azura improving her opening sectional by 2 spots. Of course, winning for Ballysteen GAA Club. Caroline GAA Club, of course, have Vallegro, and Doon GAA Club having the wonderful Ballymac Aerial. It was a tight tussle, of course, between Vallegro and Ballymac Aerial up the back straight, but tonight it was all about Fabulous Azura. Put it all together, and 28:26, one of the fastest times tonight. And we have my good old buddy Timmy Holland is on the way over for a bit of a chat. I think we've Timmy on the way over for a chat about the victory here. Timmy, your 4th time in the box with us for an interview. We're getting very, very fond of us. Well done, great run.
Yeah, she ran well. She looked like she flew out in that. So no, she's a nice bitch. She's a really strong bitch. So
yeah, 4.14 to the bend, and 2 from 2. A lot more to come, you'd imagine.
She stayed the same way. We'd be delighted, but she has to keep coming out in that. So no, she's a really nice bitch.
Exactly. If she keeps popping out like that, Timmy, you're going to be in here again with us for more interviews. Well done, fantastic performance.
The Joe and Timmy love affair continues. Meanwhile, on parade here at Shelbourne.
They are parading. We've had Great Name That, and now we have Hello Hammond, the first of the two Paul Hennessy runners in our concluding heat. Jerry Meany and Miriam Meany own this son of JT Jet and JT Pearl, a 4-time winner from 20 starts, and no doubt not without his supporters. 3 is the defending champion, Ballymac Kingdom for Liam Dowling. Liam's won this twice in the past, and this son of Definite Opinion and Coolavani Angie, of course, can do it over 6 bends. Has posted 41.27 for 750 and is one of the outright fancies before the competition got underway. 4 is Clonfert Lorenzo for John Young, the 550 track record holder in Mullingar. Ran here last week to get a look at Shelbourne. Didn't run badly on that occasion. He's the son of Troopies Kane and Bay Keary, and he is another for the shortlist. 5 is Beach Avenue, the runner-up on the Easter Cup. This one for Pat Healy and Paul Hennessy's second runner in the lineup. Paul bidding for a double here tonight. An 8-time winner from 29 starts, and if this son of Loghill Blake gets loose, he's got a massive chance. And in 6, we've got No Stranger for Pat Dalton and John Hutchinson, trained by Tommy O'Donovan. A 3-time winner from 6 starts, an unexposed son of Troopies Jet, but he's clocked 32.82 here for the 600 at Shelbourne. And from halfway, this lad will be absolutely flying, and he's the only white seed as well. So that's it. It's the last of the first round heats of the Shelbourne Open 600. We've got another guarantee in the trio, and we could be saving the best to last. Remember, the defending champion Ballymac Kingdom races in Trap 3.
Indeed, he is the defending champion, Ballymac Kingdom. We'll be getting to him in a moment, but first we're going to take a look at his kennel companion. Great Name That, one of the fastest greyhounds on the planet, an absolute powerhouse. His mother, of course, Ballymac Bonnie, was a TV trophy winner across the water. She stayed all day, and this fellow, very, very powerful indeed, and a step back up to this sort of distance could be right up his street. If he does trap on terms, he has the early speed and the pace and power to make a real splash over this distance, and I dare say if he did trap on terms, he would probably emerge as the one to beat. Next, we're going to take a look at the defending champion, Ballymac Kingdom. This is the near perfect 600-yard greyhound. He does it all. He flies to the bend, he powers down the back, and he stays on strongly. He's 32.12 over the distance. He's also, of course, the Corn Cuchulainn winner. He's a dog with immense pace and talent, and a real star for Liam Dowling, a big, big player. And the last we're going to take a look at closely is Beach Avenue. This fellow has been some star in recent months for Pat Healy and Paul Hennessy. Of course, he ran up the Labrook's Easter Cup here not so long ago, absolutely motoring home on that occasion, picked up none other than the likes of Great Name That and Billy's Diva. So this fellow's no slouch. He has immense pace. He's a big, big player. The ones we didn't get to, Hello Hammond, massive pace in Trap 2, but stepping up in company. Clonfert Lorenzo, track record of Mullingar, needs a bit of luck, and out in 6 No Stranger, dog will be absolutely flying home. Rob, it's a cracking contest to look forward to, a really special way to finish off this opening round of the Shelbourne Open 600.
Yeah, you said it, Ian. We've most definitely saved the best to last. Great Name That and Ballymac Kingdom, both representing Liam Dowling, and as you said, both have probably similar chances. Great Name That, if he breaks level, is probably the greyhound to beat, but Ballymac Kingdom, we know what he can do around here. He's done it over all distances. And then we can't forget Beach Avenue, because how unlucky was he in the Easter Cup final? He didn't get a run early at all. Himself and Boyle Sports Bingo had a little bit of traffic problems, and he absolutely motored home. Now, saying that, he was beaten by Auxerre here a couple of weeks ago, but if he gets loose early, and we've seen what Paul Hennessy can already do with Priceless Jet, he's got a big chance. But this is a good a race as we could have in the final, and it wouldn't be any surprise to see Great Name That and Ballymac Kingdom along with Beach Avenue not just qualifying tonight, but running in that 600 final in a couple of weeks' time.
Yeah, just before they go to traps here, just to let you know that if you check our social media channels, you'll see a post about virtual fundraising for those of you involved in clubs and organisations that want to make a few quid from the comfort of your own home. Virtual fundraising was set up by our business development team, and it's well worth a look. Click on the link and get involved. But we'll look ahead to this next race here at Shelbourne Park, and as you can see, Barking Buzz is going strongly. They are guaranteeing the trios for these Open 600s, so get involved. Meanwhile, going to traps, Rob, a classic race to look forward to. I just hope that the big guns come away on terms, and we get to see them going head to head down the back straight and up the home straight. This could be pretty special.
This could be epic indeed, and as you said, let's hope all 6 greyhounds break and we get the race that we've been wanting to see all week. But it looks as though they're all in for our 10th race, the concluding first round heat of the Shelbourne Open 600. And then 1 is Great Name That, 2 is Hello Hammond, 3 is the defending champion Ballymac Kingdom, 4 Clonfert Lorenzo, 5 is Beach Avenue, and 6 is No Stranger. And away they go. Great Name, that's okay away. 5's well away, that's Beach Avenue. 2 Hello Hammond and Ballymac Kingdom. 4 in the line into the opening bend, and Great Name that is going to get the run of the rail and is going to lead off the second bend. So Great Name that leads by about 4 lengths, but Beach Avenue is moving into second and he's absolutely flying. Then we've got Hello Hammond and the defending champion Ballymac Kingdom, but Great Name that is he a sitting duck because Beach Avenue is stalking him all the time. Off the final bend, Great Name that Beach Avenue down the outside is staying one with every stride, and he's going to get there and give Paul Hennessy a double. Beach Avenue reels in Great Name that in an absolute cracker. It's tight for third, and we have saved the best to last because the winning time of Beach Avenue is 32:14.
Display by Beach Avenue. We saw him coming from lengths off the pace to pick up Great Name that in the Easter Cup, and well, he's done it again. He was prominent in the early yards, but just a line of dogs in his inside, and it was Ballymac Kingdom, the defending champion, that was the meat in the sandwich. He was the force to check up and got no real run around the opening bend, but out front Great Name that had set a really searing gallop, and you'd expect him to hold on, but perhaps the only dog in training, or one of the very, very few greyhounds in training that could even close on Great Name that, was Beach Avenue. We've seen this quite a bit in recent months. This fellow is an absolute machine from halfway, and he gets up in the closing yards, relishing the long run for home. A brilliant display by Beach Avenue. Great Name that, losing nothing in defeat. And a dog we haven't mentioned, but we will on the next replay, was Hello Hammond. Hello Hammond in Trap 2 had shown a massive pace in the opening round of the Easter Cup and looked awkward and a bit cumbersome on that occasion. He's since been running in the McCalmont Cup around Kilkenny and showing loads of foot, and when he was second, well, it was going to be no chance or no easy dog passing, and Beach Avenue got past him early enough. But as you can see, Hello Hammond running a massive race in third spot, even forced to check up at that point. He looked vulnerable to Ballymac Kingdom at this point, but Hello Hammond really raced to the line. But just watch Beach Avenue on the outside of Great Name that, absolutely devouring the ground up the hump straight. He has won over 750 yards, of course. He had run so well in the early rounds of the Laurels. I've said it numerous times, I'll continue to say it, perhaps one of the most versatile greyhounds in training. He's a star over 525, 550, 575, 600 tonight, and of course 750. What a star he is, Beach Avenue, and he must be a joy to own. Meanwhile at Limerick, they are leaving, or they have left the Wayroom complex. We don't believe they've gone on parade. As you can see, they're still walking around the infield there. And this seventh race, well, perhaps missing a few of the big names that we've seen in action already, but some talented trackers in here all the same. Zafiro is the one that really caught my eye in previous outing. He was only fourth last week, but he's a dog with massive pace and power, ideally housed in the fence, and if he gets loose, well, expect him to make a big bid. On now to Limerick and to Mal for Heat 7 of the Con Annie Kirby Memorial.
The first running of the Kirby was in 2013 when Roxholm Billy won it for trainer Owen McKenna. Tonight Owen has for Des Grace Zafiro, Trap 1. Number 2, Invai for Paula and Morris Heffernan, Trap 2 in the blue. Number 3 is now trained this evening by Pat Buckley, and for Michael Gamel, the owner, Glengar Mashal. In the black jacket, Flowers Inista for Patsy Fitzgerald from the Banner County Clare, and trained for him by Jerry Holian. Trap 5 is Wikiki Bomber for the Leamy Breen Syndicates of Fairfield Park, trained by Peter Cronin. Trap 6 won in 28.70 last weekend for Sean Drohan of Carrick-on-Shore. It's Mallock's Stormzy.
Yeah, we're going to take a look at our 3 to follow in this Heat 7 of the Con Annie Kirby Memorial. And the first we're going to take a look at is the strapping Zafiro, weighing in at 81 pounds. He's very strong. He's a member of the brilliant Droopy Sydney and Ballymac Razzle Litter. We've already seen a couple of them running tonight, Ballymac Cash Out and Ballydoyle Rossa here at Shelbourne Park. I incorrectly called him or her a dog. It's actually a bitch, and she ran such a big race in defeat. But this Zafiro is as fast as any of them. Last week found himself in behind a pocket of dogs on the back straight, couldn't get loose, but perfectly housed on the fence, and if he does hold his pitch into the opening corner, well, this fellow is going to take some stopping. He has an incredible engine. Owen McKenna, Des Grace responsible. Moving on, the next we're going to take a look at is Wikiki Bomber. I put this fellow in because I thought he was perhaps the most likely leader on the outside. Set a strong gallop last week. He did a 4.19, 16.24 to the third bend, leading Racket Hall Leo, eventually finishing second to that fellow. But he's won 7 times. He's the most experienced runner in the lineup, and indeed maybe the most experienced runner in the entire Kirby for Peter Cronin and the Leamy Bryan syndicate. Now in trap 6 we're going to mention Malog Stormzy, this fellow coming through in the closing yards to beat Adam and Best last week. A dog with plenty of abilities, coming forward all the time. He's won 3 of his 9 starts. The 3 I didn't mention, Envoy for Paula and Morris Heffernan, out of luck last week, but did show plenty of pace and promise in defeat. Glengar Masha, another did show a bit of foot. A daughter, Druby Sydney for Michael Gemmell. And out in trap 4, Flyers Iniesta. Mal, clearly not a Barcelona fan. Iniesta he called him, but Iniesta racing from trap 4. I wonder if Joe was a Barcelona fan.
Ian, I was more into the hurling. I don't know if you know much about that up your way, but there's in this contest there's lacking a small bit of early pace in a number of the runners, but what they miss out on early pace, they show up in the latter stages of the race. A lot of strong stayers in this race, and as we know, Limerick is a real track that's built for staying dogs, so it's going to suit a lot of them. But the early pace may well come from Wakiki Bomber. He did a sectional of 4:19 to the first bend last week for Peter Cronin, so from trap 5 should have a good chance of leading. Malloch Stormzy, well, Paul Cooney's a genius tipster, and this is the one he goes with on the farm guide this week. Winner of his last 2 runs around Limerick for Sean Drohan, 28.70 last week, should have a clean run and come from off the pace, maybe to land the spoils. Zafiro, of course, as you said about the breeding, a litter brother to cash out, should be in the mix as well. And Enva, of course, for the Heffernans, who are no strangers to success in Limerick. Flyers and Yester for Jerry Holin. Holin always has to be respected around these parts. And Glengar Mesha, there was a few quid around for this one and the big exchange during the week. I'm going to go for Wakiki Bomber to lead out and win, but it's a very, very open affair, this 7th heat. An intriguing encounter, and it's over to you, Mel.
All ready for the 10th race. The runners: Zafiro, Invoi, Glengar Masha, Flowers Iniesta, Wakiki Bomber, Malloch Stormzy. The penultimate heat in the second round. Wakiki Bomber off to a good start in the orange jacket. Invoi is in second, trap 2. To the second turn, and it's 5 and 2, followed by 4 and 1. Up front, very close now between 2, Invoi on the outside of 5, Wakiki Bomber, as they go to the second bend from the finish. Invoi looking to cause an upset here, leads by 3 lengths, going to the stand side. Invoi in front, trap 2. Flowers Iniesta is in second, tight for third between traps 1, the favourite Zafiro, and 6, Malloch Stormzy. The time here is 28.62.
Yes, indeed. Well, all eyes were always going to be on Waikiki Bomber in the early yards, again showing his early pace out in trap 5, but just keep an eye on trap 2, Envoy. One Zafiro came away well, but he's just not getting racing quick enough, and he was sort of left in their dust at that point. And out front it was 5 Waikiki Bomber and 2 Envoy, who had run a big racing defeat last week. If you actually go back and look at it, he was badly balked at the final turn when running a fine racing defeat, and he was always going to be too strong for Waikiki Bomber from halfway, and he took over on the third bend. Flyers Iniesta showing good pace also to get involved. He slipped through into second spot. It's tight for third. I thought Zafiro on the far side might have been third, but I'll leave that to the judge. It's desperately tight when they're wide apart like that. Very hard to call, but a lot to like about Envoy. And as we've said last week, Paula Heffernan and Morris Heffernan had a third in the Kirby a few years ago, a country legend, and they have a couple of very talented dogs this year, and Envoy is through to the next round. A good winner for Paula and Morris Heffernan, this son of Ballymacvick, and out of the star performer, higher level, he's one to keep an eye on. And not one of the fastest times, but at the same time a very impressive victory. Joe, I dare say you were impressed, so we'll head over to the hurler in the ditch, the man with the championship haircut.
Well, Ian, I give myself my own haircut, so I'm actually thinking of going into barbering. The reviews have been quite strong. I can give you a call up during the week and maybe do your mop. But yeah, these higher levels, of course, she was a wonderful bitch for the Heffernans, and she is producing progeny that are just keep improving and improving and improving week in, week out. A great victory, of course, for Inva and Knockany GAA. And even the last race, Vallegro, another litter comrade of this Inva as well, ran so well as well, and they just keep improving and improving, and it's great to see. Flyers and yesterday, of course, for Jerry Holland, we said beforehand, he always has to be respected around Limerick, and won. The result is in Zafiro, third, qualifying for Owen McKenna.
Yes, indeed. Envoy, as Joe probably correctly pronounced it. Meanwhile, here at Shelbourne Park, they're on parade for the 525.
Yeah, parading indeed for 11th race, the www.griireland.ie Open 525. First on parade is Drombeg Dream for Fergal McAuliffe. Evan McAuliffe, a 6-time winner from 22 starts, the son of Rio Quattro, and wearing the red jacket. In 2, we've got Cornerhouse Lady for William Hennessy and Bethany Dunn, a really consistent daughter of Deanridge Viking and that great brew bitch, so Sarah said. She's been in brilliant form of late, and she's trained by a man who's flying tonight, Paul Hennessy. In 3, our Swans Rock for Joe Sweeney and Brendan Sweeney, trained by Jerry Merriman in County Offaly, a 5-time winner from 18 starts, the son of Batsy Sabbath, one of 3 middle seeds in this 11th race. 4 is Strides Billabong for Alan Brazier, trained by Sharon Hunt, a 4-time winner from 12 starts, can generally fly to the bend. There's some really good sectionals here at Shelbourne Park, but returning from a layoff, so might need tonight's outing. And the last of our runners, because trap 6 is vacant, is Kamiko for Larry O'Rourke and Graham Holland. 6 wins from 17 starts. One of those wins came here 7 nights ago when he made all, and he might very well do the same tonight. On that run, he could be the one to beat. So it's our 11th race, our penultimate race here tonight at Shelbourne Park, and it's coming up very shortly.
Yes, indeed, it is coming up very shortly. We'll take a quick look through these runners. First, we're going to take a look at his Cornerhouse Lady, a former Lee Strand winner, as we said last week. She's normally very good at boxes, failed to get to the front last week, but she can hit the lids, and when she is in front, she's very, very hard to pass. This one trained by Paul Hennessy, who, as Robert already alluded to, has had a good night. He's had 2 heat winners in the Shelbourne Open 600. Prices Jetton 32.20 and Beach Avenue 32.14. The 2 fastest heat winners, all the same. He's well on his way to a 7th victory in the Shelbourne Open 600. Moving on to the next dog, we're going to see is Strides Billabong. I stuck this fellow in because he looked a real prospect last year. He is returning after a layoff, but Sharon Hunt is sure to have him well primed, the son of JT Jet and Farron Rory Fay. A middle seat now. I remember in his early days he was mad for the fence, but not so much in his latter starts, and if he did hit the lids, well, he has a 28.20 on his card. He's clearly one to keep an eye on, and perhaps one of the bets of the night. Kameko, well housed in trap 4, especially if Strides Billabong did happen to edge inwards. This fellow, a professional winner last time out, winning at 29.99 for the 550. He's back in trip tonight to 525 yards, but Graham Holland and Larry O'Rourke can, well, feel optimistic about their chances here. If Kameko continues as he has been doing so in recent weeks, well, he's going to play a big part in proceedings. As you can see, Barking Buzz is still ticking along nicely there. Make sure to get involved, especially if you fancy something like Kameko, because I'd hate you to miss out on a winner. Rob, what's your idea of a forecast here? I'm going to go with 5 and 2. Maybe throw in Strides Billabong for the trio. It won't pay massively if those 3 come up. Maybe stick in an outsider. But what's your selection?
Yeah, Ian, great minds think alike. We said a little bit earlier on, we thought Cabra Blitz was the nap on the card, and when we were chatting earlier this afternoon, we thought Kamiko was maybe the next bet. He's currently about even money on the tote, so that might represent a little bit of value, and as we said, with no trap 6 beside him, if he breaks like he did last week on a slower track than what we're getting tonight, I think he'll take a little bit of beating, and there's no doubt about it. Cornerhouse Lady is his main threat, but it's Kamiko. He's fairly solid in the tote, and he's bidding to follow up last week. Greyhound are just starting loading for our penultimate race here tonight.
Yes, indeed, as you can see, they are going behind boxes. I do have the trap draw for the 2 semi-finals of the Shelbourne Open 600. I think I'll give them after the first replay, because we might just run out of time. As you can see, the loading process is about to commence. Nikki Holland there holding trap 5 Kamiko, who, if there was bookmakers on track, would likely start favourite. Do you know what? Just as we have a moment or two, I'll rush through the 2 semi-finals of the Shelbourne Open 600. First tee, trap 1 Monbeg Zinzan. In 2, Razzle Dazzle Peaky. Trap 3, Great Name That. In 4, Prices Jet. In 5, Beach Avenue. And 6, Amazing Champ. That means that Paul Hennessy's 2 heat winners are clashing in that one. I'll give you the second semi-final in a few minutes after the replay.
That is all in for 11th race, the Open 525. And the hair running for race 11 and 1, Drombeg Dream, 2, Cornerhouse Lady, and 3 is Our Swans Rock, 4 is Strides Billabong, and trap 5 is Kamiko. and away they go. It's level again. Kamiko takes a bump early, and up on the inside is Drumbeg Dream, and 3 are Swans Rock, and it's these two who are going to possibly dominate off the first two bends. On the outside are Swans Rock, just challenging Drumbeg Dream, and takes over now, heading into the third bend. Cornerhouse Lady is now in third, and Kamiko's trying to stay on after a slow start, but it's still our Swans Rock on the outside of Drumbeg Dream. Then we've got Cornerhouse Lady and Kamiko, but off the final bend, and it's our Swans Rock returning from a layoff, but is going to make it a winning return in fairly good fashion from 2 Cornerhouse Lady, who got going all too late, as did Kamiko in third after a slow start, and the winning time of her 11th race is 28:53.
Yeah, cracking little contest there. Of course, we highlighted 2, 4 and 5, and as it was 1 and 3 going into the corner. Such is the way. But 1 Drumbeg Dream showed good early speed, but it was trap 3, our Swans Rock, who went up strongly in the middle for Jerry Merriam. And Jerry rarely has a night where he doesn't have a winner here at Shelbourne Park. And this fellow taking charge down the far side from 1 Drumbeg Dream, who came back with a renewed challenge in behind. You see Cornerhouse Lady and Kamiko trying to get involved, but they had really lost their chance early. And trap 3, our Swans Rock, again dictating off the final turn and staying on to win. Cornerhouse Lady coming through for second. It's desperately tight for a third spot. And once again, a good winner there in the form of our Swans Rock. A 6th win from 19 starts for the Jerry Merriman trained star. And in second spot, Cornerhouse Lady. And again, it was desperately tight for third spot. No, we don't have to worry about the third spot. We'll give you that in time. Meanwhile, we'll come back to me. We'll give you the semi-final draw in the Shelbourne Open 600. Excuse me looking at my phone, but it was just sent to me via WhatsApp, and we'll go through that first heat again. 1 Monbeg Zinzan, in 2 Razzle Dazzle Peaky, 3 is Great Name That, 4 Priceless Jet, in 5 Beach Avenue, and out in trap 6 is Amazing Champ. And that means that in the second semi-final we're left with in 1 Billy's Diva, 2 Hello Hammond, in 3 Ballymac Wild, 4 is Pierno, in 5 Ballydoyle Rossa, who's a bitch, not a dog, and out in trap 6 at Lacazette. So 2 cracking semi-finals to look forward to. Just the highlights of there, of course, the clash of Priceless Jet and Beach Avenue in that opening heat, the 2 winners for Paul Hennessy. They're joined by Great Name That. What a contest that should be. And Billy's Diva meeting Ballymac Wild and Ballydoyle Rossa once again. That's a cracking second heat. 2 wonderful semi-finals, and in theory, if the 3 fastest dogs from each of the heats go through, well, we are set for an incredible finish to the Shelbourne Open 600 here at Shelbourne Park in a fortnight's time. Just confirming there that trap 1 did indeed grab third. Meanwhile, at Limerick, they are moving around for the final heat of the Con Annie Kirby Memorial. They'll be parading in just a moment. As you can see, Sing Along Sally leading the charge. Well, she'll be leading the charge in the race itself. A brilliant winner for Pat Buckley last week. The Juvenile Classic winner is the first we're going to see with Mal.
Runners now for the 11th race. Gilbert Anderson owns Sing Along Sally. It's trained by the Buckley's Pat, fresh from its win of the Juvenile Classic in Tralee. Number 2 is Rural Star for Helen and Emily O'Dwyer, trained by Graham Holland. In the white jacket, another runner for Graham. The Pillar Syndicate own this one. Jack's Little Thing, a good winner at 28.71 last weekend. Trap 4 is an absentee. I've Everything is out. All About Ted is Peter Cronin's runner for William Rigney. And trap 6, Stone Park Leo. Mark O'Donovan trains for young Michael Sean O'Dwyer.
Yeah, indeed. Well, we're going to start with our 3 eye catchers, but we'll mention all 5 in this contest. First up is Sing Along Sally, the Juvenile Classic winner, a daughter of Tullamore Acton, Droopy Smasher. What a class bitch she was, Droopy Smasher. Pat Buckley has this lady absolutely singing at present, and again, she's a fast starter, won't move off the fence, and she stays every inch. She's clearly a leading fancy. She was odds on believe enough today with the firms. The next we're going to take a look at is Jack's Little Thing. This fellow won the Rural Hawaii at Stud on race stake down at Clonmel, beating the likes of Fabulous Azura amongst others. So certainly that form is standing up. This son of Drippy Sydney has pace everywhere. He looks a real 550-yard dog at Shelbourne Park, but last week overcame traffic problems around the second bend to recover, go to the front. He charged into the third bend, won by 8 lengths in the finish. He can go faster than the 28.71, have no doubt. And the last we're going to take a look at in detail is All About Ted for Peter Cronin and Willie Rigney. We saw this one's litter sister actually winning here at Shelbourne Park, the opening race, All About Nona. But this fellow has plenty of dash. It was his first run in some time last week in 28.74. He can come on for that run, and if he does, well, he won't be too far away. He's one to keep an eye on. The two we didn't mention, Rural Star, was a real eye-catcher in the aforementioned Rural Hawaii. It stood unraced. A little bit disappointing last week, but he can certainly go faster. He may have needed another look around Limerick, and well, he has 28.47 at Limerick, so don't expect him to run as badly as he did last week. He'll improve. And the other one we're going to take a look at is Stone Park Leo. He was a real eye-catcher in defeat last week, showed a massive amount of pace down the back straight, checks up the third bend. He'd walked from boxes, but I dare say this fellow can go up considerably faster. There are only 5 of them, but it's every bit as intriguing as any race we've seen to date. Again, trio guaranteed in this contest, so get involved in Barking Buzz. But Joe, this is a great way to end our second round of the Con Annie Kirby Memorial.
Thank you, Ian. I've been looking forward to this moment all week. Sing along, Sally. There's one word to summarise her whole career to date: absolutely flawless. She is literally perfection, and her run last week, 28.32, 4.17 to the first corner. If she can repeat that this week, well, she should be very, very close. Rural Star, of course, for the O'Dwyers. Fantastic connections of the Greyhound game, and supporters for Graham Holland should be in the mix as well. Jack's Little Thing, of course, for a wonderful syndicate of Jack and Larry O'Shea, of course, and the Burns, Noel and David Burns, of course, who had that Wine Tavern prefix. As you said, 28.71 last week, but ran into a bit of congestion, so take no notice of that time. He's able to go an awful lot quicker than that. All About Ted, of course, for Willie Rigney and Richard Brown for Peter Cronin. Another impressive winner last week in 28.74. Showed good early last week, doing 4.20 sectional to the first bend. If you can repeat that, definitely in with a massive shout. Stone Park Leo, of course, for young trainer Mark O'Donovan, has a massive chance as well. This young Greyhound trainer will have his dog primed, has a bit of early, needs to stay slightly better. But if I had to go for one, probably Jack's Little Thing, Sing Along Sally, and All About Ted to qualify. But it's an intriguing contest I've been looking forward to all week. And over to you, Mel.
The last of the quarterfinal places up for grabs. 1 Sing Along Sally, 2 Rural Star, 3 Jack's Little Thing, 5 All About Ted, 6 Stone Park Leo. Sing Along Sally is the favourite, breaks moderately, best away are All About Ted and Stone Park Leo. Through to the opening couple of turns, it's 6 in front. Sing Along Sally improves, but still Stone Park Leo to the good by 3 lengths, going to the penultimate turn in the final heat to round 2 of the Con Annie Kirby. 6, 1 and 2, 6 with a decent lead. Stone Park Leo 10-1 shot coming off the final bend, going towards the line. 6, 1 and 2 qualify. Stone Park Leo, Sing Along Sally, Rural Star. The winner trained by Mark O'Donovan. The time is 28.78.
Yeah, last week, of course, Stone Park Leo had finished 8.5 lengths behind Sing Along Sally, but on this occasion, well, you see Sing Along Sally charging boxes. She didn't get her flying start. In contrast, 5 and 6, All About Ted and Stone Park Ted, or Leo, absolutely rocketed. All About Ted didn't have room, checked off that opening corner. Sing Along Sally ran into the backside of trap 6 Stone Park Leo, and all of a sudden he finds himself clear. He had been a real eye-catcher in defeat, in fairness, despite the fact he was beaten 8.5. He'd shown plenty of pace. Just there, Sing Along Sally seemed to brush the rail, and again there between the last 2 bends, she stays on strongly in second spot. She lost nothing in defeat, but a fine display by Stone Park Leo in behind, and no luck for Jack's Little Thing and All About Ted as they crash out. Rural Star qualifying in third spot. Listen, it was a heat we'd been looking forward to all week. It didn't quite work out as we planned, but a fine winner, no doubt, in the form of Stone Park Leo, but 1 or 2 hard luck stories in behind. But Sing Along Sally is still there, Joe. I know you have a sweet spot for her. What were your thoughts on it? It was a muddling affair, shall we say, in behind the leader.
Yeah, as you said last week, Stone Park Leo put in a very, very eye-catching run. Now, I must admit, I thought his probably early part of the race was probably more impressive than his latter stages race, and the rest of the litter are more early paced rather than stayers. But he really surprised me tonight. He stayed on well. When he came up challenged with the other contenders, I thought that maybe that he would qualify. I didn't think he was going to drive on as he did, but he ran exceptionally well. And of course, trained by Mark O'Donovan, a passionate young greyhound man. I went to university with him in University of Limerick, and it's great to see young trainers having such success, and there's multiple young trainers running really well these days. For Castletown Ballygran J Club in West Limerick, Stone Park Leo, of course, Sing Along Sally qualifies for Killeedy J. She ran well. She just kind of charged at the boxes before she came out, missed her kick. That's not like her. Expect her to, please God, ping the lids next week. And Royal Star, of course, for the O'Dwars. Wonderful sports game for Father Casey's GAA in Abbeyfield. Ran with exceptional good credit as well.
Yeah, thanks, Joe. As we said, a fine display there by Stone Park Leo, and now we look ahead to the final race. I can't believe it's that time of the evening, Rob. The final race here at Shelbourne.
Race at Shelbourne indeed, and Greyhound are parading for the Spoiled Sports Open 525. First on parade is Razzle Dazzle Monarch for the Kildare Kilcolgan Syndicate, Neelius O'Connell. A 12-time winner from 42 starts, a very consistent son of Makeshift. In two is Bulmer Santini for Kate Mahan and Jamie McGee, a 3-time winner from 13 starts. By Loghill Blake out of that. Brilliant sprinter, Bulmer's Baby, looks ideally housed in trap 2. 3 is Broadstand Ryan for the Ryan Drake Donovan Syndicate, trained by John Lennon, a 2-time winner from 3 starts, but as opposed to 2 really good trials here in recent weeks at Shelbourne. 4 is Slippery Diva for Larry Dunn, a 5-time winner from 21 starts. This daughter of Kisses for Clodagh made hall here, and her most recent start when she beat Razzle Dazzle Monarch. Reproduction of that gives her a big chance. 5, Swords Maestro for Barbara Lowndes and Graham Holland. Really impressive here 7 nights ago when made most in 28.46. A reproduction of that gives him a huge chance. And in 6 we've got Right So Bell, the second of the females for Sean Corrigan and Aidan Denton. A 10-time winner from 40 starts. She's got to the semi-final of the Sporting Press Irish Oaks. She's run in the Cork Oaks. She's run in the Champion Bitch at Thurles, and she most definitely is not without her place and chance in this final race. So it's her 12th race. It's a really, really good open 525, and it won't be long until we're ready to rock.
Yeah, it certainly won't be long until they're ready to rock, and we'll take a look at our 3 against the field. The first I'm going to take a look at is Broadstrand Ryan. I must say I was surprised this fellow didn't take his place in the Kirby. He'd shown immense pace in the early rounds of the Juvenile Classic down in Tralee. He was one of the fastest greyhounds in the opening 2 rounds, and really catching the eye for Johnny Linehan and the Ryan Drake Donovan Syndicate. But they obviously have different plans for him. I then, when I saw him trialling here at Shelbourne Park, thought maybe the 600, because he looks a dog that'll certainly stay beyond 550 yards. But here he is in an open 525. They're obviously eyeing up a few targets later in the year, and he is the type of dog that could develop into a serious Derby contender. He's massive from the second bend. In 4, Slippery Diva. Well, this lady's a very talented performer. We've seen her in recent weeks here at Shelbourne Park. A good winner in 28.41 last week, calculated 28.21. She starts, she stays. If she hits the front, she'll be hard to pass, but she will need a fast start from this draw. And in 5, Swords Maestro, the most taking winner here at Shelbourne Park last Saturday night, 28.46 on the card. I think he can take off 20.25 off that. I think it was a stunning run by a dog with a very bright future. He had been another one of the stars in the Juvenile Classic. Again, surprised he didn't take his place in the Kirby Memorial, but again, Graham Holland and Barbara Lowndes clearly have something else in mind for this son of Droopy Sydney and Limini. He has massive pace, and if he hits the lids, well, he's again going to take some stopping. A quality contest. We have the likes of Bulmer's Monarch, or Razzle Dazzle Monarch in 1, Bulmer Santini good early speed in 2, and out in 6 Right So Bell, who can also really run. So a really quality contest to end proceedings here tonight at Shelbourne Park. Of course, remember, Barking Buzz is working away there. I hope you've had a couple of trios at home to pay for the Talking Dogs TV service. If not, well, join us next week and you could. Listen, let's go over to Rob. It's a great race to finish proceedings off here at Shelbourne Park. Of course, stay with us. We've one left at Limerick.
Yeah, great finale indeed, Ian. And as you said, that the start is going to be key here. Swords Maestro, he got a little bit of room last week early on, and that was probably the key. It's definitely a better race than it was last week, but if he can trap level, and now with a middle seed beside his name, if he can get a bit of room early, he's got a big chance. And as you said, you were talking about as an outsider possibly for the Boyle Sports Irish Derby after he won last week. Well, if he can do a run tonight, he'll be most definitely won't be an outsider. And right so, Bell, if she can reproduce her best early speed, as we said, she's been running in some of the best bitch contests in the country over the last few months, she's got a big chance. But they're all in for a final race of the night here at Shelbourne, the Boyle Sports Open 525. And the hair running for our concluding race. In 1, Razzle Dazzle Monarch. 2, Bulmer Santini. 3, Bodstrand Ryan. In 4, a Slippery Diva. 5, a Swords Maestro. And 6 is Right So Bell. And away to go. Swords Maestro is a well away, as is Broadstrand Ryan. And Broadstrand Ryan is showing huge gears into the opening bend and is going to lead by a couple of lengths. There's big traffic problems in behind. Razzle Dazzle Monarch turns second, but the one to catch is Broadstrand Ryan. He leads by 2.5, 3 lengths from Razzle Dazzle Monarch, and there's a big gap back to Swords Maestro in third, but around the top 2 bends, and Broadstrand Ryan still has that advantage over Razzle Dazzle Monarch. Swords Maestro is closing, but it's all too late. It was over from Trap Rise, and Broadstrand Ryan is going to make it 3 from 4, and he's done it in really good fashion from 1, Razzle Dazzle Monarch. Swords Maestro's run well after early traffic problems, and the winning time, it's a great finish to the night because he's done it in 28:24.
He certainly did do it in fine fashion. I can promise you one thing, I didn't expect to see Broadstrand Ryan leading after a stride, but he rocketed from the middle boxes and quickly got across the fence. And, well, scarcely has a race been over as early as that here this evening at Shelbourne Park, or indeed at Limerick. This fellow, real powerhouse, didn't quite handle his corners, like he left time on the clock. So don't be surprised if this fellow comes forward in the coming weeks and months, because this dog has a massive engine. As you can see, he's not overly fluent around those 2 bends, and he will certainly improve for the run. 28:24 all the same, and a good marker in second spot, Razzle Dazzle Monarch. 5, Swords Maestro got caught up in early bother, and again running a big race in defeat. There's a big performance as him in the future. He's a dog for 550 yards, but so too is Broadstrand Ryan, and I dare say those 2 will be meeting again in the future here at Shelbourne Park, perhaps in August and September. I think you know what I'm talking about. It was a great race to finish proceedings with here, and it's great to see a fantastic display by Broadstrand Ryan for Johnny Lennon, of course, who is such a jovial character, but he's also a very, very talented greyhound trainer. And I've often described the Ryan of the Ryan, Drake and Donovan syndicate as perhaps one of the luckiest owners in the game. And, well, he's got another dog that he can hope to be lucky with in the future, because Broadstrand Ryan has it all if he continues to trap like that, because he's flying down the back straight and he powers up the hump straight. He's a greyhound with a very, very bright future indeed. Great way to end proceedings here at Shelbourne Park, but of course we have one left at Limerick, and it's a graded 525, and it'll be going to traps very shortly. It's an A1 contest, and claims can be made for a number of these. A good race to finish on in terms of its competitive nature. The one that I'll side with is probably Trap 1 Loxley, who has a 28.88 in his second last start. He's won 4 of his 14, and perhaps well housed, as you can hear Malice talking, so I think they might be on parade, just the cameraman hasn't caught up.
Sean Stack has number 1 Loxley. Trap number 2 is for the Cooney clan, Kieran, Darren and Stoner. Run on the inside. Next up, wearing the white jacket, Glide Away Chimes, runs for trainer Sean O'Donoghue, Latin Tipperary. Edmund Fitzgerald and his agent Philip Buckley with Luke's Fizz. Trap 5, locally trained by Dennis O'Malley, Rally Knight. The final runner in the final race of the night at Limerick for the Mary Allen's Gang Syndicate, Sharavogue.
Well, I gave the game away before the parade. I'm going to side with Trap 1 Loxley, but he's the first we're going to take a look at. This son of Law Hill Blake, and rallying way for Sean Stack is well housed on the fence. He did 28.88 from Trap 3 in his second last start. Out of luck last time out in Kilkenny, but if he comes away on terms, he has the form in the book. He also has a 28.69 on his card. I'm expecting him to make a bold bid. Moving on, the next we're going to take a look at is Glide Away Chimes. This is a well-bred daughter of native Chimes in Glide Away, Katie, owned by Sean O'Donoghue. She's lightly raced. She's only had the 3 starts, and she's already clocked at 28.85. Didn't lead last time, but took it up down the back straight and went on to score in fine style. She's clearly progressive and going the right way. She could improve further, and if she does, she'll be a big player. And moving on to the last one we're going to take a quick look at is Sharavogue, and Sharavogue, owned by the Mary Ellen's Gang Syndicate. This is a son of Droopy's Jet and Glideaway Katie with 16 starts, 4 wins, but 10 second place finishes, so very rarely out of the frame. Normally does its best work late, and that is the key to its success. If it gets a run around the opening 2 bends and gets a run at them down the far side and home, well, it won't be too far away. One to keep an eye on if you're on the leader into the back straight. That's trap 6, Sharavogue. Before we go to Joe, just like to say that I think he's done a wonderful job here tonight. I know his Tinder profile has been absolutely buzzing all evening. Joe, make sure you get that championship haircut sorted. I tell you, I like the velvet jacket tonight. You really look the part. You're doing a great job, and keep up the great work.
Well, Ian, you just alluded to Tinder profile, and I guess desperate times call for desperate measures. You know, I have to pull out all the stops to try and find the love of my life. Hopefully she's a few quid and maybe a couple of greyhounds. But look, as I said, beggars can't be choosers. I won't be picky. It's an intriguing contest here to end affairs in Limerick. And a very solid A1 contest. An awful lot of early pace in the race. If you look at trap 1, trained by Sean Stack of Newmarket on Fergus, a very shrewd handler indeed. 28.69 on his card. Run on the inside runs for in trap 2 for Donald Cooney. Donald Cooney actually took our opening race with a very smart performance, 28.61. This dog has 28.55 on his card, and also won in Limerick 28.88 in the recent history. Glideaway Chimes, this is a dog I really like. Only April 19, so will be improving. 3 starts, 2 wins. Up from A4 to A1 tonight, but 28.85 winner last week. Did 4.25 to the bend. Might need to marginally improve on his airy section, but if he does, or if she does rather, she will definitely be in the frame. Luke's Fizz, of course, with breeding of Philip Buckley, a litter comrade to Barney's Road, who ran in the Kirby last week for Pat Buckley. Won this very well bred, and you can be sure that this one will be there or thereabouts. Sorry, not litter comrade, out of the same dam. Last off Fizz, and of course Philip Buckley has some excellent breeding. Rallying Night, of course, for the Rallying Racing Syndicate, and local legend Dennis O'Malley of Ballyneety. This fella's been running for a long time and has some good runs on his card. 28.42 around Limerick. Has been running an AO, an open class company, in his last few races. A drop in class for him tonight, so could be on the premises. And as you say, Sharavogue, 16 starts and 14 places out of those 16. Consistency is key, and I'd love to see consistency in the Greyhound, so probably one I would pick with there, maybe 6, 3 and 1 for the trios, maybe on the barking buzz. But an intriguing A1 contest to wrap up affairs here in Limerick. Over to you, Mal.
In the finale at Limerick, from the inside, Loxley running the inside, Glideaway Chimes, Luke's Fizz, Rallying Night, Sharavogue. The Greyhounds make great pets. A1 is our concluding race. Run on the inside has the early lead. Trap 2. 4 is Luke's Fizz in second. 5 Rallying Night is in third. We're well down the back stretch in our 12th and concluding race. Trap 2, run on the inside, leads for the Coonies. From trap 4, Luke's Fizz, Philip Buckley's runner. It's 2 and 4. 5 is back in third. Run on the inside looks to make every yard a winning one, and does so. 2, 4 and 5 as they finish past the line. Luke's Fizz and Rallying Night, the runner-up positions. The winning time here is 28.64.
Well, we're not just far off wrapping up proceedings here, but we're wrapping up in very much the way they kicked off at Limerick, with a Donald Cooney winner, and winning in very similar fashion to Border Electric. This fellow hit the lids early, goes to the front, and once doing so was never going to be picked up. He's on by 4 lengths down the back straight, or 3 lengths perhaps from in second spot. Trap 4, Luke's Fizz, who, well, never really got much closer than where he was here, 2.5 lengths behind. But Trap 2, run on the inside, really is staying onto the line, and this son of Ballymac Vic and Glenlee claiming a 5th career success. A tremendous victory by Trap 2, run on the inside. We've seen 2 magnificent nights racing, both here at Shelbourne Park and Limerick, and of course much more to look forward to in the coming coming weeks. The Con Annie Kirby Memorial will continue next week with the quarterfinals. My thanks to Robert Catterson, brilliant as always, and to the great Joe Sheahan. He's absolutely flying down in Limerick. But that's it for us this evening on Talking Dogs TV. We're going to leave you with something very special, one of the behind the track docu-series. This was the first we saw. It was Fionnuala Maloney Carey, a great lady, and I think she sums it up perfectly.
This is Mary and Tia. They're just pups. We're just starting them off, galloping them. It's great for the pups starting off, just to get them used to going up. And we try to kind of have it all here, just everything's fun. So a lot of people think that they're forced to run and all this, but you can see yourself, they're not. They just love it. They absolutely love it. So we have pups, so starting off maybe from 3 months old up to when they start to race. So we get them, just rear them up and get them walking on leads, get them used to the walker, start galloping them, take them to the track, and then basically when they're ready to race, they go. And then we have our own race dogs, 3 at the moment. So we have Walker, Cha, Paddy and Sally. And then we have, at the minute then, we have, I'd say, about 18, 19 retired dogs. Most of the dogs we get in, they come from big racing kennels. I mean, they could have 50, 60 dogs, 70 dogs, maybe some people, you know, in kennels. They can't possibly, you know, keep all them dogs, but they keep them, they get them neutered, get them prepared for a home, and then they come here or go to some other foster place. And, you know, all that matters to them is to get their dogs in, looked after, and get them a really, really good home through the IRGT. I do say train a few greyhounds, but my main thing was always just to get the good side of the dogs across, just to try and promote them as pets and promote them after they've finished racing. Try and get them good homes and, you know, just basically showcase them as the wonderful pets they are. My dad was an inspector for the ISPCA, so I guess that's where my love of the welfare side of things came along. And moved out here then in 1984, then basically just kind of, like none of this was here. So just year by year, built on and built on and built on. Typical day, they get out in the morning at 7 o'clock to pee and clean themselves, back in, they get their breakfast. Then after that, about 8, then they're back out again, about 9:30, 10 for another walk. They get out then again before lunchtime. Then their evening walk then, about 2:30, 3 o'clock. They get out for about an hour, and then dinner time. They're out again at 7, and then out again before we go to bed about 10 o'clock at night. Yeah, very busy. So this is, as we call it, the doggy kitchen. All the dogs, the greyhounds, feeds are prepared in here, breakfasts, dinners. So I'm just making their dinners now. They get some nuts, 2 slices of brown bread. They either get beef, chicken, some days they get tripe, soup. They get brown rice and vegetables and either spinach or kale. They eat better than ourselves, to be honest. Like, you see, this morning you guys were here and we hadn't even got our breakfast yet, but these guys had their breakfast this morning first thing, you know, so it's just the love of it, the love of the dogs, you know, you'll do anything for them. So I think there's bad eggs in every sport. You can't say there isn't, there is, but to be honest, the majority of the greyhound people, they love their dogs. Like, you know, most people, they're up in the mornings first thing, the dogs are looked after before they're looked after themselves, you know, they really are. It's just what we live for, really. Oh my God, sorry. Them small few are giving all the rest of us the bad name, which isn't fair. Some people think that the dogs are forced to run, That's just simply not true. The dogs love it. They're, as they say, they are born to run. That's in their breeding. They love it. They absolutely love it. Like sheepdogs are born to, you know, herd cattle or sheep or whatever. They absolutely love it. Then they know well when they get their little meal at lunchtime that, oh yeah, we're going racing tonight, and they're barking, they're so excited, and all they want to do is come flying out and hop into the van and go racing. They're just, you know, you've seen today, they're just amazing pets. They really are. They're amazing dogs. They can transfer, say, from a racing greyhound into a retired greyhound, you know, in like really, really quickly. They really are. They're just amazing.